Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. I feel like I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, if we're being honest. I feel like I've been gone from this building.
You missed one day.
I know. And
That's
I feel like I haven't been here forever. I feel like I have not done a show in forever. By simply not doing the post-game show yesterday, I feel like I took a vacation. It's so weird.
Well, me and Tommy had fun, at least. So we had a great time.
You guys sounded good. Other than making fun of the show, but y'all sounded really good. Yes, thanks to Charlie Usen and Tommy Wirtz for doing the show yesterday. Normally it's me and Tommy. I took the day off yesterday to put up some Christmas trees in the house. 4 in the living room, 1 in the kitchen. And so forth. And my buddy Andy Spitzer helped. So that was awesome as well. Took us majority of the day. You know, you people that get new Christmas trees, God bless you. We don't. We use the fake ones. But with the fake ones, those lights go out and you're stuck. So we have an upside down tree. We had 1 strand of lights still working by the end of last year, original from the tree. We had another big fat green tree, as I like to call it. We had 1 strand of lights still working on that tree. Now, grant you, we've had these trees now for like 4 years, and we normally put them up at the beginning of November and take them down sometime in February. So we clearly run our lights way more than everybody else. But when you get in that situation, what do? Do you throw out the Christmas tree, or do you go and redo and restring with your own lights the Christmas tree?
You get a new tree. I think that's how my family usually went about it.
Understood. Yeah. We didn't. We went out and bought new lights for both trees, and we redid.
I'm surprised you didn't just get another tree too while you were out, though.
No.
In general, for your collection.
I understand. We still have trees we want to add, but this was not the season to do it. So
do you like mark them in books like little kids do with like toys for Christmas?
What do you mean?
You know, like when you would get the magazines and you'd give it to the little kids and they'd circle the toys and stuff. Do you do that with trees?
No, we just know. I mean, she wants a blue tree in the worst way and has for the last couple of years. We just haven't been able to make it work. But yeah, we're not done adding.
All right.
But yeah, very good. So that was fun. Now it feels like Christmas in my house. And I know some of y'all don't start this till Friday. But man, did Christmas come early? I mean, the damn Badgers won. They beat Illinois on Saturday by 17. I mean, they didn't kick a field goal to beat Bielema at the end. They smashed Bielema. Like, that thing was over. I could not have been more happy. I tweeted out something along the lines of, all is forgiven with Luke Fickell. All is forgiven. I don't even care. Ha, 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 ha. I'm serious, though. To me, that's like beating the Trader for me in the playoffs and beating the Cubs, because I despise Bielema. And he doesn't like me. Fine. To me, that was awesome, because what you did was, and I don't know if Charlie agrees, we'll get to the Packers. What you did was you said winning that game that Washington wasn't fake and the first half of Oregon wasn't fake, that this is maybe who you are going to be now. Now, it took you way too long to get here. It took the backing of McIntosh on Fickell to get here, or whatever happened behind closed doors. But now they're there, and now you got Minnesota, and you might win 3 of your last 4, Charlie.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be so awesome. And I don't think anybody really truly expected them to win 5 games. So if they go out there and win this last one, I think you are above the moon with how
now
your expectations of this team.
There are bowl teams that go on 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
If they ask, because last year Badger said no. If they ask, do you go? Or was it 2 years ago they said no? Whatever. They said no one of the last 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago.
No, I don't go. I think you still got too much to figure out.
Listen to me. That's why you have to go. You need all the additional practices. You need Carter Smith to get more involved. You have to go. That'll be a topic maybe tomorrow or later in the week.
Maybe it would depend on what the bowl is and who you're playing.
I don't give a damn.
I think that does matter.
I don't care if it's the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Bowl held somewhere in the middle of Wisconsin at a high school field.
I think we can figure it out.
A high school field? I don't care. They need all the additional practices to get ready not only for the game, but for next year. Get all these young guys more reps and more practices that you can then play in the game and get their feet wet and go, hey, don't go in that portal. This is going to be what's going to be like next year. You're going to get a bunch of reps here. Don't you leave me. To me, it's invaluable. Like, you have to go if you're Wisconsin. I don't care if your pride is hurt, that you're going against 5 or whatever else, but you're playing well. So take that, and maybe you get a win in a bowl game and really feel good about yourself going into the offseason.
Or you do that and you go in and Carter Smith, the guy who has been able to help lead this team at quarterback, gets hurt in a bowl game.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
And then you're back to square one.
I knew you were going to go the injury route. I just knew you were. But either way, so there's some Badger talk for you. Like, I'm more fired up about that than I'm fired up about the damn Packer game, if we're being honest. I mean,
I get it.
I am. I'm more excited about the Badgers getting a win than I am the Packers getting a win. Maybe I'm probably the only one in the state of Wisconsin other than Luke Fickell probably has that same feeling. But that is truly where I am. So we will definitely get more into the Badgers throughout the course of the week. Some happy, positive talk about the Badgers because we've been hammering them all year long. No guests today. Not a single guest. So you all want to get in, whether it be the talk and text line, whether it be on social media, WI Sports Radio, whether it be us streaming live on YouTube and X, that'll work too. WI Sports Radio there. We're here all day. So yesterday, as we said, Charlie and Tommy, they hosted the postgame show last night. Now, this is my experience, and Charlie, you tell me how it went last night. My experience is when the Green Bay Packers, I did not buy LED lights. To those of you asking on X and YouTube for my light, for my tree, I don't believe I did. No. But anyways, this is the thing. Normally, when the Packers get crushed, let me explain to you how it works in sports talk radio for the last 20 years, at least, probably forever. Phone lines light up like Christmas trees. Text lines are flooded. People are losing their minds. When the Packers win, crickets. It's crickets. People, that's nice. They won. Okay. I'm happy. I don't need a call or text. I'm happy. When I get mad, then I'm a call or text. I always say it's easier to tell somebody that you don't like them than it is to tell somebody that you love them. Every day of the week, right? Charlie's got a problem with the girls breaking up. Get out of here. I can't stand you. Leave me alone. And then Charlie is dating a girl for like months. Doesn't want to be the first one to say, I love you. And she doesn't want to be the first one to say, I love you. And we play the game back and forth. We go, right? It's no different with sports talk radio, man. When they lose, let's kill them. When they win, I'm not going to call in. I'm just going to listen today. So maybe it'll be different today, but I'm fully expecting it to be that way. Nicolay Law Talk text line 414-677-1250. There are so many things. The question is simple, and I'm sure the other shows have done something similar. I'm not going to be different in the first segment. Rest of the show will be. Was yesterday the best game the Packers have played all year? Now, there are a lot of things that we can get excited about, right? A lot of things to get excited about. Jordan Love, no, he didn't throw for 350 or nothing, but made some good throws.
And they're going to come after him and get there. He throws it up for Wicks and a first down. Jordan Love making a play under siege for 15 yards to Wicks. I mean, Wilson was unblocked, and Love still found a way to get it out of there.
That's because the running back didn't know what the hell he was doing. The running back went left. The linebacker came through the middle, and by the time, I think it was Brooks, by the time he realized, he was like, oh no, I don't know if he yelled, get out. I mean, he saw him coming. He went back. It was way too late. Literally, it looked like a video game. Guy comes untouched. Absolutely got almost killed.
Well, and it was Brooks, and he got praised last week for being awesome at run blocking.
He did, and he totally missed that one. But again, man, we're being honest. When Love makes those throws, at least me, there's part of me like, oh no, what are we doing? Why are we doing something? But that was a beautiful throw. I mean, he hit Wicks. Wicks goes up, makes the catch, done, drop the ball. Right? I mean, that was the first sign that this was going to be a good day for the Packers. When you almost get your head taken off, throw the ball up, dude catches the ball, that drops the ball a lot, catches the ball, you're like, okay, this may be a good day for the Packers. This is a good opening sign. If it wasn't going to be a good day, he throws that ball up, he drops it or gets tipped and intercepted, and then we go downhill. That, to me, was the first good sign of, all right, I think we're going to go in the right direction here.
I could definitely see that. And this Packers team, I think throughout this game had moments like that where last week against the Giants, even though they won that game, you saw them drop so many interceptions. You saw them had so many drop passes on the offensive side. You saw the offensive line have their moments in that game where it just looked like they were not an NFL offensive line. All those things in this game you didn't see as often or at all. You saw them execute perfectly, which is what you needed from this Packers team, that consistency we've been asking for all season.
Correct. Now, this play here was something else too. This one here, I don't understand the returner for the Vikings. I don't understand what's going on.
Price will have it bounce over his head inside the 10, and it hits off him. It's 3. Who's got it? Oh, mistake you cannot make. What in the world was he doing?
Exactly.
Packers say they have it. Vikings say, no, we do. Let's get the verdict. The ball's probably changed hands 7 times at the bottom of that pile. It's Packers football.
Highlights courtesy of Fox. Zane Anderson. I don't understand, man. And all I can think of is he's coached to do that, maybe. I'm guessing he was coached to do that, because if you did that on your own, you're not going to return kicks next week, I promise you, because that was absolutely moronic. And Zane Anderson even said, when I saw him, I was like, okay, I'm going to slam this dude into that football if I can. And that's exactly what he did, and then got the dang ball himself, too.
It was insane. What was the best part about that play wasn't the actual play, but Tommy and I in here watching the game, it comes on NFL Red Zone before it actually happens in the game.
Oh,
and Tommy
really?
goes, oh, great. What did the Packers do now? Because the return is on NFL Red Zone. So we're like, it's going to be a return touchdown, whatever. And then that happens. And we both go nuts because you don't expect that from the Packers special teams at all this season.
I mean, realistically, they screwed it up more. But the Packers took advantage.
They took advantage. Yeah. I thought about this a lot last night. This Packers team yesterday reminded me a lot of the Milwaukee Brewers, where you're not going to win games flashy. You're going to go out there and just win games sound and technically. And this is a game where they let the other team make mistakes, and they took advantage.
It's a beautiful thing. You feel like this is the best game the Packers have played all year? My answer is no. Let me just start by saying that. I'm going to say no to this question. But I'll tell you which one I think in a little bit. Nicolay Law Talk, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Block in Waukesha, you're first up on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Block?
Right now, so I don't sound too out of breath. I hate to sound like the bearer of bad news here, but I think people are a little too high about this one. I understand we're 5th in points, 4th in yards in total defense. We're 21st in turnovers, which to me is actually a positive sign because you're stopping people without taking the ball away. However, you're averaging under 4 yards a carry, and you have no runs this year over 20 yards, and you scored 17 true offensive points if you take away the fumble on the punt. You scored 13 against the Panthers, 10 against the Browns, 7 against the Eagles.
How much did you score against Washington, Dallas, Detroit, Pittsburgh?
Now we're going back to the beginning of the season with Tucker Kraft when he was healthy.
Yes, but if you talk about wins, they're averaging, almost 30 points a game.
Yeah, but that's not counting the losses, too.
I said
I'm
wins.
just saying they have no big plays. I know, but I'm just saying when they lose, they can't put up any points or muster anything offensively, especially big plays. They're not throwing the ball down the field because of the too-high shell. So I understand that. That's where you really miss Tucker Kraft. But my question is, do you think with this offense, they can seriously make a Super Bowl run? I'll hang up and listen to your thoughts.
I do, but we're going to get into that Super Bowl at 3:00. Thanks for the call.
He was on the treadmill, by the way. That's why he was out of breath.
Sure he was. But again, this is the thing, is that I understand why you watch this game and you're like, oh my God, they don't trust Jordan Love. Oh my God, what are they doing? I can't believe it. All this stuff, okay? And I understand why you would think that. Matt LaFleur talks about it afterwards.
Yeah, I think once we got a lead and, just as effective as our pass rush, I mean, this is the first time in a while where I thought our guys could kind of pin their ears back and just go. And so, I mean, it just goes to show you the importance of getting a lead where you put a team into some situations where they're, feel like they have to throw the football.
I mean, I know you're always trying to score. How do you game plan so that happens more often? So,
Wow.
or like a-
That is the question. If somebody can help me, that'd be great. I mean, what do you think we're doing, Pete? Not trying to get a lead?
I know, but it just
I mean,
make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, absolutely it did. We had 3 possessions in the first half. I mean, it's one of those, it's like a lot of these games this year, like where possessions are at a premium. We had long drives on all of them. Unfortunately, had 10 points. Wish we could score every time we had the ball.
Yeah, so do we. But I don't think this was ever a thing of I don't trust Jordan Love. And there was a lot of that going on yesterday during the game. Well, LaFleur clearly doesn't trust his quarterback. Yeah. Listen, man, we talked about this last week on this show. We went over, when we did Confident, Concerned, and Curious, a segment I highly advise y'all check out on Fridays at 2 o'clock. You go and you look at the rankings. The Vikings run defense wasn't anywhere close to as good as the Vikings pass defense. And I said it on Friday. Oh boy, this could be the game where he decides to hand off over and over and over again if they think they can run on him, because they've desperately been trying to get this run game going. And that's kind of exactly what they did. And Emmanuel Wilson, to Block's point, well, they haven't broke big plays. Well, with all due respect, I mean, Jacobs isn't the most fleet of foot when it comes time on taking one home, right? You don't have that type of breakaway speed with him. But when you look at the job that Wilson did in this game, and Brooks to a degree, but more Wilson, he was awesome, man. He was falling forward, getting positive yards every time he touched the ball for the most part. And when there was something there, he took it. And the one time he went up, ran into his offensive lineman, broke it outside, and took off around the corner. That's the stuff you want to see.
That game, Emmanuel Wilson and what he did yesterday made the offensive line look right more often than they looked wrong. And Josh Jacobs so far this season, I think this is due to him, again, not playing 100% healthy in almost any game that he's played in this season, just has not had that ability to do what we were talking about there, where Emmanuel Wilson just busts it back outside after not finding the original gap open there. Josh Jacobs has to be more like that, and I think most of that has to come with him needing to get healthier. And this is a game where you give him that rest. Hopefully he can come back on Thursday or the week after if you want to give him another rest after watching Emmanuel Wilson look awesome. And he can come out and have that same kind of burst that we saw last season a lot from a Josh Jacobs in that same kind of situation. This was a game where Emmanuel Wilson made a lot of people look right. And because of that, Matt LaFleur doesn't have to open it up with Jordan Love. If this was a game where the Packers were down by 10 and he was still doing stuff like this and Jordan Love still had the same exact stat line,
then you can have that.
You can question it a little bit. But
agreed.
he didn't have to open it up this game. Again, this is how teams like the Eagles usually win football games, is by going out there and just dominating at first and then using the quarterback when they need to. And he's right every single time.
Yeah, we'll get into the Eagles. That they got problems in Philadelphia, y'all. I mean, big problems. You got Saquon Barkley, 20-some carries and a fumble. Offensive line, what happened? But we'll get into that later in the show. Matt LaFleur, more on that ground game.
Okay, that's a great question, Spoon. So a couple of those, sometimes we have some run pass cans. They don't give us the look, and then you end up running the football. There was one in the red area where it was 3rd and 3. We called the run, and we lost yards. So I was thinking we had 2 downs. So it really treated it like 2nd down, but we went backwards, and I didn't want to, with just the score of the game, I thought it was smart to take the points there. I think we were up 11 to make it a 14-point game. And then the other one was we weren't sure about the catch on the sideline, whether or not we caught the ball or not. So we jumped the ball. Unfortunately, we missed a block right at the point of attack. That should have been accounted for. And that was, I would say, the thing that disappointed me the most in some of those critical situations. I mean, we had a pass play canned to the run, and we don't block. I think it was Eric Wilson or the Mike linebacker, and he just runs through and stuffs our back in the hole. He should be accounted for. We don't target him, and unfortunately, that was the result. So that led to a punt. Now you could look at the other side. I think that was the punt where we recovered the fumble. So maybe somebody was looking out for us.
This is the thing. When you have communication issues on the offensive line, seemingly every week, What are you going to do to fix it? Because you're going to get somebody hurt, whether it be the running back, the quarterback, a wide receiver on a jet sweep, whatever. Somebody is going to get tattooed one of these times, and they're not going to get up. And it's going to be on that offensive line's head for getting somebody hurt. This has to be addressed. This has been going on for weeks, Charlie.
It has. But also for a few weeks, you haven't had a Tucker Kraft at that tight end position either.
That had nothing to do with Wilson coming up the middle.
No, but there's a lot of plays in this game where the tight ends aren't giving the offensive line the support that they need, the backup tight ends. Okay. And I think a play like this is a result of maybe an offensive lineman trying to do too much in a position where he needs to be the star player in that play. And the tight ends throughout the rest of this game, when they're pulling and not really taking out players like Wilson who comes through the middle like that, because there was multiple plays where Fitzpatrick just got stuffed in the hole by Wilson, and then Emmanuel Wilson had to bust it back outside like we're talking about. There's situations like that where you're not getting the support from the other positions around you. It's really hard to want to have to continue to do that job 100% when these other guys are supposed to be helping you out a little bit.
Charlie using over there. See Sparky 5 for here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up on the other side, we're going to hop into more of this conversation about Matt LaFleur's philosophy as a play caller. And after watching yesterday, are you starting to understand the way he goes about thinking and how he's approaching things? And do you agree with said philosophy of how he's going about things? That is what I'd like to know from you. Let me tell you, it's that time of year, the sing-songy family gathering baked goodsy season, and Wendy's went and made the frosty of your holiday dreams. It's a snickerdoodle cookie frosty fusion made with swirls of sweet, gooey snickerdoodle sauce and chunks of cinnamony snickerdoodle cookies. It's full-on cookie nostalgia. So preheat those mouth ovens because the snickerdoodle cookie frosty fusion is here, and it's seriously delicious. The iconic frosty mixed with sweet snickerdoodle cookies. It's got to be Wendy's. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Question is this: are you understanding Matt LaFleur's philosophy better now after watching yesterday's game and hearing him talk about, hey, we got the lead and we wanted to run clock and let our defense just go win the game? And do you agree with his philosophy that we're talking about here? Nicolay Law, Talker text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Lots to discuss concerning that defense that we really did not get into yet. I mean, there were so many big plays on that defense. First of all, check this out. This one here in the second quarter.
He's sacked back at the 47. Warren Brinson, the rookie from Georgia, with his first career sack. May have to split it with McDuffie, loses 7, and a timeout with 23 seconds.
Warren Brinson, the draft pick out of Georgia. Warren Brinson, highlight courtesy of Fox. Warren Brinson led the team in pressures yesterday, according to Pro Football Focus, with 5 pressures. 5.
Awesome. You gotta love it. That's the type of stuff you need to see from this group.
But. What
a big but.
There's a but. What does that gonna mean for Devontae Wyatt? This dude continues to ball the rest of the year. That might mean they decide not to go with the Devontae Wyatt route.
If you want to be a winning team, one of the best teams in the league, who cares? This is the player that's balling out right now. Sorry, Devontae. If you're not going to come up and step up, then somebody else has to. It's the same thing on the offensive line. Anthony Belton going in for Jordan Morgan. If you're not going to step up, somebody else will. That's how winning teams operate.
Correct. Now, the other one that's not disputable as far as how effective he is this guy that gave up 2 ones and Kenny Clark for.
Second half begins with a throw. That was the intention, and Micah Parsons had other plans. 9 sacks this year for Micah Parsons.
I'm telling you right now, I don't care. As I said before, I said it early in the year. I don't really care if they win a Super Bowl or not at this point. There's no way you can be mad at that trade, regardless of how this thing finishes. He is doing everything that that we thought he could do, because that wasn't the only one that he had.
Fake the toss. Parsons is coming, and he's got his second sack of this third quarter. This guy gets double teamed more than anybody and still gets to the quarterback more than anybody.
Well, that play, he just blew by the left tackle with a swim move or whatever it was and got to the quarterback quickly. On the one play on the right side, it's like the whole offensive line. There was a guard, a tackle, and a running back. He was fighting 3 dudes on the right side of that offensive line.
It was still kind of pushing them back a little bit. Like, they weren't killing him. It was crazy.
3 dudes, man.
I think without Micah Parsons on this defense, I truly believe this Packers defense would be nowhere near as good as it is.
Agreed.
Like, he is that much of an impact where he takes them from what could be a bottom third of the league defense to the top 5 defense in the entire NFL. He's absolutely insane. And you can kind of see the same thing happening in Cleveland too, which kind of overshadows Micah Parsons a little bit sometimes, because Myles Garrett is about to just destroy the all-time sack record, but Micah Parsons is just something else too, man.
He's way better than Rashawn Gary.
Oh, yeah.
He's way better than Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah.
He's way better than all those guys. And again, I brought up Devontae Wyatt earlier, like, hey, man, this may be the end of Devontae Wyatt if Brinson plays well, but there's Devontae.
Third and a mile. They line him up at linebacker here, and he just barrels his way in there, and Devontae Wyatt has a sack of his own.
How's that, Parsons? I was going to say,
McCarthy just got out of the end zone, but a disaster of a drive for the Vikings. Back-to-back sacks, and 4 total for the Packers today.
I mean, Wyatt got the sack, but Parsons blew it up the
still
middle.
Micah.
Ran over Ryan Kelly.
It's still Micah. No
Yes.
matter what, no matter who's doing great, it always comes back to Micah Parsons. It's insane. Never seen a player like that. I watched Khalil Mack on the Bears, which was almost the same deal.
This dude here, man. I mean, he's at 10 sacks, and what do they got left? 5 games?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a chance he could get 6 games left.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a chance he could be at 15 sacks, something like that this year. He could
Be
set a
happy with
season.
that?
He could set a career high in a single season if he gets a 15, 16 sacks.
Rashawn Gary looked a little better in this game. Hopefully he can continue to turn
He
those
deflected
pressures into sacks.
Yeah, he deflected the ball that ended up with the interception.
Well, and he had a few other pressures that, again, probably could have ended in sacks or resulted in other players getting sacks for this team, kind of like Micah Parsons on that last play with Devontae Wyatt. You hope he can get over 10 sacks too, so then you have 2 guys in that range. I mean, this looks like, again, if you can run your system as well as you did in this game consistently, I mean, that is a terrifying front seven. You just don't want it to look like it did against the Giants sometimes and the teams before that.
I'll say this. When there was no Quay Walker in this game, I was wondering how this was going to look with Isaiah McDuffie because he is undersized, right? I mean, he's not a big dude that's going to lay the wood or anything like that, but it turned out okay.
To start his career, Rashawn Gary gets there this time and forces an interception. Gary got his hand on it, and Isaiah McDuffie picked it off.
That was an incredible catch by McDuffie. But, I mean, he was a force all day across the field for 4 quarters, Charlie.
The other thing me and Tommy talked about on the post-game show yesterday was that if that was Quay Walker in that position, he's dropping that ball. We 100% believe that he is not catching that football.
Probably.
This is what Isaiah McDuffie does and why you keep him on the roster as that third middle linebacker. He comes in and just plays football. He's a football player. People were calling him the water boy, and that's how he plays. That's exactly how it is. He will go out there and give you 100%. Yeah, he may not be the most athletic. Yeah, he may not create the craziest plays you've ever seen, but when his number is called upon, he is there every single time.
Defensive grades, Pro Football Focus, Isaiah McDuffie, an 86.4, high quality number 1 on defense. Xavier McKinney is 75.9, which is considered above average. Micah Parsons, 71.7, above average. Edgerrin Cooper, 70.5, above average. And then Javon Bullard is at 5 and 68.7, which is considered average. Now, I don't know how much Kamal had and what he graded out at. I didn't see that. But we weren't talking about him blowing coverages. We weren't talking about him getting picked apart. I mean, Justin Jefferson only had 40-some yards in the game at that point, right? I mean, you would have thought, now, it's just me. If it's me, I'm looking right at that dude and go, let's see if you can make a tackle. And I'm just going to run right out to his side right away, wide receiver, bubble screen, whatever. Let's see how you do with this. Okay, that's good. Let's see what you do with a slant, real quick slant. Let's see what you do with that. I'm gonna make a point of making sure he's playing for the first couple of downs to see what he looks like, and then go from there. And I know before you even said Charlie's on the other side of the glass. You could see it on X or YouTube as we stream live, WI Sports Radio, and he's smiling. He can't wait to get his JJ McCarthy shot out. Go ahead.
To start his career with
I hit the wrong button.
You scared me.
Yeah.
Except for JJ McCarthy's throwing the football and the Packers defense front. It's not even just JJ McCarthy, but the Packers defensive front didn't give him any time.
That's true.
How are you supposed to get the ball to a guy being covered by Kamal Haddon if there's no opportunity to get the ball there? So even beyond JJ McCarthy not being able to even throw a screen pass in this game, felt like sometimes he didn't have the opportunity to in the first place most of the time. The Vikings offensive line looked just as distraught as he did.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's see here. Got a 414 on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. You can be a contributor there as well. 414-677-1250. Hey, listen, Sparky, there are primetime moments to come, and Micah, he's prime time. I agree. See, that's the thing to me that gets you excited about the playoffs is that when they get there, you know that dude's coming. You know he's going to have a moment or two in each game where he's going to be a problem for somebody. And just like, you know, he's going to have his moment, you would assume that on the offensive side of the ball, those guys are going to have moments too. Jordan Love's going to have his moments. He's going to end up and play a little bit better in those moments too. Makes you feel good about where this team is. I know they played out of their competition. Well, the Vikings were lesser than them, and they took care of them with no problem. I mean, every show on this station around the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network today, I believe it said once it got to 17, it was over. Like every show, I think, said the same thing.
Now you have to go up against the Detroit Lions, a team that is much more difficult, much more competitive than the Minnesota Vikings, a team that also is going to fight back if they get down. And when you potentially go down as the Green Bay Packers, you need to fight back now too. It feels like they haven't been able to do that all season besides against the Dallas Cowboys, who are not a good defense at all. So you have to go out there and show that you not only can dominate at the beginning of games and then continue that, but also get down early and still come back and be that dominant team.
So the question is, are you understanding Matt LaFleur's philosophy better now after watching yesterday's game? And do you agree with it? Yeah, I get it. I get the philosophy. This is who he is, man. This is who he was coming from the Titans when he got here. This is the vision and the plan that he sold these guys. And the reason why they hired him. It's to take pressure off the quarterback and control the clock and make sure the other team doesn't get a million possessions against your defense. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. Rodgers didn't allow that to happen. He wanted to sling it all over the place, and whatever happens, happens. Now you have a quarterback that's just rolling with it. Whatever you want to do, coach, whatever. I just want to win. And they're winning. They're not undefeated. They've lost a couple of games. But the way that game played yesterday, I think in a perfect world, Charlie, he'd love to see it play that way every game. Thanksgiving on Thursday, we'll have the Green Bay football postgame show starting at 3 o'clock with Tommy Wirtz and myself. But that game on Thursday, he wants the same thing. Be up 10-0, be up 13-0, and run the ball, control the clock, and allow Jared Goff as few possessions as possible to get back in this game. I think that is how he wants to play.
It is. That's how every coach would hope this goes, if we're being completely honest. But realistically, Matt LaFleur has to be ready because he hasn't been all season for when it potentially could be 13-3 Lions at halftime or 10-10 Lions Packers tie at halftime. And now he has to go out there and change the game plan a little bit or go out there and be resilient. And we haven't seen him be able to do that. He cowers a little bit. So this is going to be a great opportunity for him to come out and show that, yes, he can have this game plan. He can go out here with this philosophy, but philosophies need to change when the time comes.
Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. This is from JP. Says Parsons trade was a no-brainer. We gave up 2 ones, but one would have been an edge rusher. So we got one of the best in the league. In my mind, it only cost us 1 first. Also, we're set at the skill positions for a couple of years. We need corners, offensive line, and defensive line. We can find a lot of really good players in the second and third rounds. We also do not need to pay 2 first-rounders to help finance the other playmakers. Trust me, free agency next year, guys will come like they did with Reggie. In my book, we are good to go. I don't know. I'm with you, JP, on everything you said until you said that. Micah Parsons, if you're listening in Green Bay on WNFL right now, don't be mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. 99.7 FM. I don't want you to be mad at me. But I don't know if he has the gravitational pull of Reggie White. That's my only thing. Like, I don't know if you understand how different Reggie was from the aspect of like, how beloved he was at Pro Bowls and how beloved he was around the league. But all these dudes that loved him. Not saying Micah Parsons may not be liked or loved or whatever. I just don't know if Micah Parsons is going to have a gravitational pull of getting guys here on minimal salary deals to come here and play. That's my only thing. I just don't know if he's that type of guy that can bring guys in like Reggie White did. Maybe you're right, JP. Maybe it will happen that way. And if it does, God help the rest of this league. Coming up next, we'll get to our botch moment of the game, plus more of your calls and texts as well. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's where you should have been watching all these games on Saturday and Sunday. You could have watched the Badger game, could have watched the Packer game there yesterday. And if you were going to go to the Bucks game on Fiserv Forum, man, don't pay all that crazy high pricing downtown. Take the shuttle from the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. All you have to do is make a same game day bet or make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen, and you can get a wristband. You have to ask for it. Ask for a wristband for the shuttle because you're going to go to the game, and then away you go. Now, they start leaving the shuttles from the Potawatomi Casino Hotel an hour and 15 minutes before every game, and they start returning starting in the third quarter. And like I said before, don't let me hear that bus is full in the third quarter at any game. I don't care what the score is. You don't bail on the Bucks in the third quarter, at the start of the third quarter nonetheless. But anyways, so for those of you that want to get on the Bucks in the third quarter, you can. So again, Potawatomi.com for more information. Again, Potawatomi.com for more information.
Time for the botched moment of the day. Bad call, dropped pass, horrible coaching. Did someone say the wrong thing? Let's get to it on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, time for the botched moment of the game. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Sparky here. Charlie using other side of the glass. I mean, we can have a lot of fun with this, right? But, I mean, the dude that threw this ball here.
McCarthy down the seam and too tall and picked off. Second interception for the Packers the last two drives. Evan Williams, second week in a row. He's got one.
Evan Williams, baby, doing his thing. It was a great throw for sure. Charlie is doing the celebration skull or whatever chant that they were doing in the end zone.
Awesome.
Hey, I'll give credit to all you fans in that end zone that whole section started clapping back over their heads.
Like immediately.
Back to them. Yes,
awesome.
it was like it was rehearsed.
And also credit to the Vikings fans that were right in front there too. That looked like they were having fun with it. They weren't mad. They weren't like causing issues or anything.
I saw Vikings people on social media going, "Hey, we deserved it. We suck."
Exactly.
Like, they weren't even fighting it. They're like, "Hey, we suck." Whatever.
Well, and that ball from JJ McCarthy. I mean, if he even throws that remotely where he should have, it's a 23-yard completion, like right up the seam.
Yeah,
that's insane. How bad that throw.
But
was.
Again, guys, we said this a couple weeks ago. It's not that the Packers don't have opportunities to get turnovers. They get them. They can't hold on. Yesterday, they held on. And we talked about it and said, man, if they start holding on to these opportunities that they're getting, this defense is going to go from being really good to being really great. And I don't care who the opposing offense is. You start talking about who they have coming up. Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Goff's going to give you multiple opportunities in a game. And you're going to get McCarthy again if he's still the quarterback at the end of the year. I mean, you're going to have opportunities outside of maybe Lamar Jackson. The rest of these cats, you're going to get opportunities more than likely. It's just a matter of whether or not you can hold on to the ball.
Well, and even with how poorly Baltimore's offensive line has been playing lately, you will get opportunities with Lamar Jackson. He's going to make mistakes when he's under pressure. Every quarterback does. That's just how it goes. You got to take advantage now.
Let's go to the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. Trell, north side of Milwaukee. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Trell?
Hey, what's going on? Now, Sparky, I must say that I agree with the decisions that LaFleur made yesterday. Even though I had an issue with it a little bit, but because they won and the fashion that they won by, I throw that aside. But let's not get way, head over heels about this. If he wants to do this running crap, we may as well get ready as Packer fans to bow out in the first round, because you have to score points in the playoffs, and you have to have a really good defense to get stops when you need to in the playoffs. So if he's going to do this running bull crap and hand scrap his quarterback for big games, like when we need them, we're going to lose.
Okay, so what's left on the schedule? You've got Detroit here on Thanksgiving. You've got a game against Denver, a game against Baltimore, a couple against the Bears, one against the Vikings. Are any of those big-time games where they're going to have to score points?
They got to score points against Detroit. That's the one. The only game that I can see him doing this again, if McCarthy's the quarterback when they play Minnesota, he probably can get away with doing this. Denver, because Peyton can be conservative a little bit because their defense is so good.
Yep.
Maybe he can get away with playing that way with Denver. Maybe. Baltimore is a wild card because I don't know. They're fighting for their playoff lives. So you might have to score points in that game. I don't know. But the other games, Detroit, both the Chicago games, Chicago can score points. So, I mean, our defense may be able to stop them and make them 14 and 17 points. Well, that still means our offense is going to have to score about 20 points, 17 points or something. So, I mean, there is a way, because even when the Packers won the Super Bowl with Rodgers, we beat the Chicago Bears 10-3 in the NFC Championship.
Correct.
So you do have those type of games where you're playing maybe a not-so-good quarterback, and you got a defense that can hold down. I understand that. But I just don't want this to start to be some type of normal. This is how he coaches, and no. He's going to have to learn to use his quarterback that they gave $50+ million to.
He is going to use the quarterback if his defense is having issues. I think that's how it's going to go. Thanks for the call. So if Detroit, is scoring touchdowns every other drive, then yeah, they're going to have to throw, obviously. But if that game is 10-0 at half, he's going to continue to run the ball. I'm telling you right now, like, y'all can get fired up, but I don't think it's changing. Johnny, north side of Milwaukee, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, cousin? I want to say first, talk about misappropriation of funds when you talk about the quarterback situation inside of Minnesota.
Yep.
I don't know if I've in history ever seen this. Like for that's who you chose, and the other guys you let go, everybody's doing good.
Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, both, yeah.
That's just talk about a fumble, Lord. But that to the side. This Packer team that played yesterday, they play like that. And I mean, I don't know what everybody else is. You may agree, you may disagree. That team can get us to the Super Bowl. That team, that the schematically, up and down, the whole thing, to me, I agree with it. I agree with it because you want Jordan Love to rip the ball loose and this, that, but y'all must have forgot we are in Wisconsin and this weather.
Yep.
You got to be able to run the ball.
That's right.
You have to run the ball. Emmanuel Wilson yesterday looking like a Green Bay Packers December running back.
That's right.
Pound.
That's exactly right.
Love.
Johnny, I got to roll, man, up against it. Thanks for the call. That's exactly right. They got to going with Ryan Grant in December. They would get to going with Eddie Lacy in December. All these cats, that's when McCarthy started to run the football was in December. This isn't all that crazy of what Matt LaFleur may try to do here to end this season. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up next, this defense is looking like a Super Bowl caliber defense. What do you think is going to be the reason the Packers actually don't get to the Super Bowl?
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Happy Monday, Green and Gold Monday. Some call it a victory Monday for the Green Bay Packers, even though I'm more excited about the Badgers win than I am the Packers win. Either way, still cool to be talking about winning today as we get ready for the big game on Thanksgiving coming up this Thursday. Tommy Wirtz and I will be here for the Green Bay football postgame show powered by Lakeland University. We'll start that show coming up at 3 o'clock on Thanksgiving. So if you're up for it, come hang out with us. If you're not up for it, you can always just find us wherever you download your favorite podcast at. We'll have that up after the show as well. Continuing to talk Packers here in this segment. Now, the defense is unbelievable. That's not even up for debate, right? You get as many pressures and hit on quarterbacks and quarterback sacks and all of that like they did against J.J. McCarthy yesterday, and you're feeling really, really good about your defense. You're feeling like, hey, man, with this defense, they can win a Super Bowl. Agreed. The question is, what do you think will be the reason if they don't get there? If it doesn't happen, if it doesn't look like they can get to the Super Bowl, if they fall short of the Super Bowl, what's going to be the reason that they don't figure this thing out? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. On the socials, WI Sports Radio, streaming live on X and YouTube as well. Now, I'd like to first start off by saying, if your initial reaction to this was Jordan Love, we're not going to agree. I'm just telling you right now, you and I, we're not going to agree.
Okay, wait.
At the end of the day, we're not going to agree. If you think the reason they don't make it is because Jordan Love's going to lose a game and throw a couple picks and cost them the game and so forth, we're not going to agree. That is not where I'm going. Now, some of you may be like, well, it's Rich Bisaccia in the special teams. Oh, McManus is going to miss a kick, and that's what's going to screw us. I mean, there's going to be some of that too. I'm just telling you, if it's going to be Jordan Love straight up on him, we're not going to agree.
The fact that you preemptively need to warn people that they are not going to agree, that means that Jordan Love at least popped into your brain when the question was brought up.
I know when I did the question, because you and I had the show meeting, I knew what I was doing when I did the question. Listen, whenever I do topics normally, I have a good idea of where the other side's going to go, right? Sometimes I'm like, I think I'm going to be with mostly everybody on this. And sometimes I'm like, I know where most of these fans are going to go, and I do not agree with where they're going to go. So I'm going to get out in front. When Chris Middleton was here with the Bucks, lightning rod. You just said Chris Middleton and people flooded the phone lines and bashed Chris Middleton, right? Fairly or unfairly, just constantly. Jordan Love's getting to that point. I mean, Jordan Love legitimately, for sports talk radio and social media, there is a fan base that likes him, and there is a fan base and a loud fan base that don't like him and don't believe in him. For whatever the reason, that's what it is. You saw that with Brett. When Brett Favre was here, there was a loud, vocal fan base at one point that wanted Favre gone and wanted Matt Hasselbeck to be the starting quarterback, that wanted Favre gone and wanted Mark Brunell to give a chance because he threw so many damn interceptions, people were done with him. So that was a thing. There was never that with Aaron Rodgers. There was never, ever, ever an outcry of, Aaron sucks. We're going to get a backup. We want the backup quarterback to play. And now we have Jordan Love, and I'm right back to the Favre years where everybody's clamoring for the backup to get more time.
It also didn't help, though, that Brett Hundley was the backup for a lot of those seasons, too.
Details.
I mean, Malik Willis is a lot more fun to watch. I think that's part of the reason. And Jordan Love hasn't gotten to that point of an Aaron Rodgers of earning that type of respect. I know a lot of people put Aaron Rodgers top 5 in quarterbacks all time.
He got to 1 Super Bowl. Let's not act like he's Mahomes. He got to 1. Eli Manning got to more and won more than freaking Aaron Rodgers did. Come on, man.
Eli Manning also had phenomenal defenses.
Well, and he also had really bad years where he wasn't any good in between the Super Bowl years, right? Rodgers was consistently at a high level, but couldn't win in the playoffs or couldn't win enough in the playoffs. And you can blame whatever you want to blame of why that didn't happen. I'm just saying, So either way, that's why Jordan Love, when I wrote this, I knew what it was going to be. My answer is not going to be Jordan Love, but I'm open to conversation as always. Here we go. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials, WI Sports Radio. Let's go to Ron and Rome. You are next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up?
One reason Aaron didn't win more Super Bowls is I don't remember what year it was or who their quarterback was, but I remember in a playoff game we were eliminated by San Francisco, and I think they passed the ball 9 times.
Yeah, Kaepernick. Yeah, and they ran for like 350 yards against the Packers. Yeah.
Yeah, and they kicked our butt, and they barely passed.
Yep.
So I don't care if we don't pass at all. When the guy who was saying we're going to need to pass when we play a high-scoring offense, you know what's the best way to stop a high-scoring offense? Is to make sure they're on the bench.
Exactly.
When you're running the ball and having
Yes.
10, 12, 14-minute possessions.
Yep.
So if we can run the ball, God bless them.
I'm with you, Ron. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. The question is this, Ron. I want you to answer the question. With the defense looking Super Bowl caliber, what do you think will be the reason the Packers don't get there if they don't get there?
Well, one thing I've noticed through the years, like people are on his case for going for 3 points instead of going for it on 4th down. I remember Mike Holmgren, who to me is the gold standard in coaching. He never went for it on 4th down unless it was like 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter and we needed 2 possessions.
Right.
So I can remember at least 6 or 7 games that LaFleur's lost because he went for it on 4th down, didn't make it, and then we lost by 2 points.
Yep.
So I'm glad I was cheering yesterday when he went for the 3 points. I was telling Greg Olson to shut up.
I'm with you. Thanks for the call. The difference is this. When Holmgren was the coach, you didn't have all the analytics and the sheet of when to go for it and when not to go for it, and the sheet to say when to go for 2 and when not to go for 2, and all the math and all this crap that they have now that works into this. And all that wasn't a thing when Holmgren was coaching this team in the early 90s, right? So you didn't have to worry about that. I also agree with you. I'd rather kick field goals than go for 4th downs over and over and over again. But that is what the National Football League is now. This is not a Matt LaFleur thing. This is a National Football League thing. And in fact, I'll take it to this comparison and watch Charlie just get mad at me. It's just like everybody wants to shoot 53s a night in the NBA. Now everybody wants to go for 1 million 4th downs every single game in the National Football League. But that's what it is, right? I mean, is that where it is? It's not 1 or 2 teams do it. Oh, Dan Campbell's crazy. Now they're all nuts. Now they're all doing it.
Because they have the ability to. Teams are going out here and they're converting these. They're going out here.
Some are converting.
And I think the other thing that they're trying to avoid here is relying too much on their kickers occasionally. I think there's a lot of teams right now that see their kickers making 60-yard field goals or 50-yard field goals for 2 straight weeks. And then they go and try to have those same guys kick 50-yard field goals the next 3 weeks. And they miss all of them for some reason. And then now they feel like they're screwed over. So now they have to overcorrect and go for it on 4th down over and over again. This is a symptom of, again, just, I think, getting too excited about what you're seeing on the field and not letting it play out first, and then just over abusing these types of plays or these types of situations.
4th down conversion rate in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The number 1 team converting on 4th down, the Indianapolis Colts, at 80.95%, dude. That's a lot.
That's crazy, yeah.
Kansas City, second, 78.26.
I didn't expect it to be that close. I thought there was going to be even a bigger drop-off than that. Wow.
Patriots, 76.47. Patriots and Colts, 2 best teams in the AFC, right? Bengals, 70%. The Rams, some say the best team in the NFC, 68.42%. The Packers, in comparison, are 9th in the NFL at 64.29%.
That's a really good number. That's
the
pretty
Detroit
successful.
Lions, 13th, 56.52%.
I feel like just off the eye test, they do that so much more often. They're attempting it so much more often, so that also leads to a lower percentage.
I want you to tell me, is there a percentage where you go, I'm not going for it as much anymore because we're not good at it?
I think I want to say 50%, but even that feels too low, but 50%, yeah.
50%. Okay. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, There's like 13 teams in the NFL that are 50% or lower. The Saints, 36% conversion rate.
Well, and the Saints are really struggling right now because they just went out and gave a tryout to Justin Tucker,
Fair
which
enough.
was weird. Yeah.
Y'all love Baker Mayfield, who's now hurt. 42%, along with Vegas.
McLaughlin, their kicker, has been one of the better kickers in the season this year, though.
The Bears, 26th in the league, 46.6%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, again, we can sit here and talk about whether or not it's good to go or not good to go, but the Packers, one of the best ones, and they go for it way more now than I feel like they went for in the past. John and Franklin, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, John?
What's up, Spark? You're asking me to kind of come up with something negative after I just watched my team curb stomp the team I hate the most.
Not necessarily. We're praising the defense, right? But everybody's still talking about the offense today, even though they won.
No, not everybody. I'm not complaining at all.
Good.
And I think it's great that we got a quarterback that's willing to hand the ball off and doesn't have such a big ego that he's got to be on top of the fantasy football stats every week.
Cheers to you. If I had a drink and you had a drink, I'd cheers you on that one. Good job.
Well, I'll see you soon, and when we'll do that. But anyway, I got one for you. I'll play the game. If there's going to be something that holds us back from the Super Bowl, it's going to be injuries at key positions, or just at key positions in a certain game, whether it's cornerback when we're going up against Detroit and multiple wide receiving threats, and Hafley's going to be able to cover a lot of that with the different ways he schemes. I think he kind of covered yesterday pretty well, although obviously he didn't have a lot of time to throw. Well, it'll be very interesting to see how this goes against Detroit coming up, especially if Nixon doesn't play. But I would say it's injuries. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, we could say the coach making a bad call. We can say it's special teams. I mean, these are all things that have happened in the past. But the thing that I worry most, and when we got Micah, the thing that I worried about most is because you've got to have some degree of health. I know we won a Super Bowl a year we had a lot of injuries, but that's running really uphill. And if you're painting a perfect picture, that's not the way I want to go.
All right. Thanks for the call, John. I appreciate it. Injuries are not mine. I get it, though. I'm not against it like I'm against the Jordan Love one. I'm open to injuries being a reason why this team doesn't finish, Charlie. That makes sense.
Injuries have derailed a bunch of Super Bowl contender seasons lately. Last year, the Detroit Lions were ravaged by it. The San Francisco 49ers every season are ravaged by injuries, and it derails their season. Could definitely be a case. Yeah.
No question. Let's go to Big Kev in Brown Deer. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, Big Kev?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, did you guys notice yesterday? I mean, of course you noticed that we ran the ball really well yesterday, but did you notice the change on the offensive line?
Yeah, man. Belton in place of Morgan. Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. I've been begging for it.
Yep.
Night and day. That was the change I've been waiting for at least 4 weeks, for at least a month. Jordan Morgan, that may be one of Goody's mess-ups, because Goody doesn't mess up much in the draft, but I think this may be one of his not most desirable picks.
We have a Jordan Morgan topic at 4:20, Big Kev. We have a Jordan Morgan topic at 4:20. It will be on its way. But yes, I with you was also saying, thank God. And then not only did you and I both say thank God, but then Belton delivered when he got in the game and didn't look like a screw-up.
No, and I think playing him inside at guard is perfect. And it's like I said, and the offensive line gelled. I mean, I know we got Jenkins out. I think Jenkins, if he doesn't come back this year, I think he's played his last game in Green Bay.
Agreed.
But and like I said, he's a good player. He's gonna be fine. But like I said, Jordan Morgan has always, in my opinion, been the weakest link.
I agree with you on that. Thanks for the call, Big Kev. And that's the other thing, too, when we talk about this, and I'm trying to find the numbers here on this. But when he got in there and you have that beef inside, you feel really good all of a sudden about running, because Ryan is a big dude at center. Banks, hey.
Finally.
Hey, man.
It was nice.
It just came out of my head. He didn't get hurt.
No.
Hey,
it
man.
was nice.
Hey. Hey, Aaron Banks. Hey, buddy. Good job, man. You survived the game without getting hurt. Wow, that's good stuff.
He didn't always look the best, but he was out there.
Yes.
That's nice.
But like, my point is that you've got the size inside. I can't find the stupid tweet that I saved yesterday, but there was a moment yesterday where you got size 6'6", Aaron Banks, right? He's like, I'd be 330 or somewhere in that area. Sean Ryan's like 321. Belton, God only knows how much that kid weighs. So you have those three. Now all of a sudden you can run the ball inside a little bit more because Ryan's a mauler, Belton's a mauler. I don't know what Banks is, but either way, they're three big bodies. Now you can run inside and start moving the defensive line. By the time you get to the fourth quarter, man, those guys are starting to lean on those Vikings defensive linemen, and they're tired and they're worn out. Now you can start to gash a little bit more. Now they're not coming at the quarterback nearly as much anymore in the fourth quarter either because they've been getting pounded on the whole game.
Well, and then the combination of that with Emmanuel Wilson just not being taken down by first contact at all during this game, you could see there was moments where the offensive line did get a little tired and that the defensive line was stalemating them at the line of scrimmage, and Emmanuel Wilson would just fight through it and give the offensive line that little bit of help that they needed in order to continue keeping the play going. This is exactly the type of, again, like we talked about earlier, philosophy that Matt LaFleur is trying to instill with this group that we heard before the season that we just haven't seen up to this point.
Now, Shedeur Sanders played really well for the Cleveland Browns over the weekend. And their head coach would not commit to Shedeur Sanders starting next week, right?
Nope.
I want commitment Tuesday because they don't talk today. I want commitment tomorrow that Belton is starting at guard against Detroit. I don't want to start this dude, Jordan Morgan, and then see what happens. See if Jordan Love's alive by the second quarter to see if we're going to play Belton in the second quarter. Like, I've seen enough. I don't need to see anymore. Start Belton. Don't think twice about it. Love, you're the swing tackle, or Morgan, you're the swing tackle, and let's move forward from there. I've seen enough Charlie using.
I think you have to, with Jordan Morgan, it just can't be at guard anymore. You've seen what Anthony Belton is doing out there at that position and what you can see with that future of that position. Now you have to go over to left tackle and say, you know what, maybe Rasheed Walker needs a rotation, and we need to see if Jordan Morgan figure it out there, because you have to figure it out with Jordan Morgan sooner rather than later.
The question we've been asking is, with the defense looking Super Bowl caliber, what do you think will be the reason they don't get there? What's your answer, Charlie Usen?
I think the reason the Green Bay Packers will not get to a Super Bowl if they do not get there is because of the group we're talking about right now, the offensive line, and then two, the defensive back depth. The fact that Kamal Hadden had to go out into that game yesterday, and he played all right. He had 2 targets against him and gave up 2 catches on those 2 targets for only 12 yards. But if this is a team that has a quarterback, that's a little bit more smart, if we're just being honest with the ball, can go out there and get rid of the ball faster, and then an offense that is just able to block the defensive line, I am fearing for my life if I'm in the Packers defensive back room with Hadden out there and then potentially Bo Melton playing cornerback for this team. It is by far the biggest reason. If Keyshawn Nixon goes down, if Carrington Valentine goes down, the Packers defense is going to be reeling over there.
I will tell you, that's a good one. Mine's offensive line. Plain and simple. Like, if Jordan Love can't get pass protection and if they can't run block, they're screwed. I don't care who the quarterback is, who the running back is. This offensive line, if it's going to be Belton at right guard going forward, needs to find its dancing legs, its dancing shoes, and start doing the same dance week in and week out together and staying on the field together without injury or anything else, right? Let these starting 5 right now, Ryan, Belton, Tom, Banks, and Walker, all play together now the rest of the way out every week. No rotating guys, nothing like that. These are your 5. Let them find their groove by the end of the year and be blocking as one cohesive unit. If you get that, Charlie, this can be a Super Bowl team.
Oh, 100%. You have all the talent on this offense. It's about just executing now and running the game plan that you have had set, like I said, since before the season, and being consistent. It's those little things that this Packers team has just not been able to do on a week in, week out basis. We saw it all come together this week against the Vikings. Now you need to see it come together against a stretch of 5 teams that are going to be more competitive.
Absolutely. There he is, Charlie Usen, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Coming up next, that Micah Parsons trade that happened. There were a lot of people like, oh, they might have given up too much. Oh, I don't know if this is right. Back in the day, Ted Thompson, when he was the general manager and the Packers were doing their thing, there was a phrase that went around Ted Thompson that fans used to say, sports talk shows hosts used to say. I wonder whether or not we're getting there with Brian Gutekunst. I'll tell you what I'm talking about coming up next. Is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Wendy's, baby. In a world of tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies, and yes, it's fun to say and even more fun to eat. Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce lineup. New Wendy's signature, new sweet chili, or new scorching hot. Or choose one of the classics, honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose is the perfect vessel to dip all of your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable, you'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. See Sparky Pfeiffer. Charlie using other side of the glass. And obviously, we've been kind of talking about this dude all day, but now we're really going to get into not only him, but the dude that made this deal.
Fake the toss. Parsons is coming, and he's got his second sack of this third quarter. This guy gets double teamed more than anybody and still gets to the quarterback more than anybody.
So Micah Parsons, multiple sacks yesterday, causing havoc all day, ran over Ryan Kelly, the center, that led to a Devontae Wyatt sack. He was just dominating yesterday. And you gave up a couple of first-round picks and Kenny Clark and all that fun stuff to go along with it. Well, back in the day, we used to have a phrase called "In Ted, we trust," or "In Ted, I trust," depending on who was saying it, right? And pretty much what it became was blind loyalty to Ted Thompson, regardless of what he did. If I were to criticize Ted Thompson on the air, people would get so mad. He's won a Super Bowl. What more does he need to do? He knows what he's doing. Leave him alone. And that went on for several years before everybody started to sidetrack off of it, right? But that was the thing for several years. And Ted we trust, and Ted we trust. Like, whatever he did, there was no doing wrong if your name was Ted Thompson and you were running the Green Bay Packers. Are we there with Goody right now? Are we getting there with Brian Gutekunst right now? Are we at the point where he's just going to get a free pass for the next few years because of what he's done drafting and this deal with Micah Parsons and free agency and so forth? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. For instance, I will use something else as well. The 2024 draft class is something else that needs to be discussed. Now, we talked about Jordan Morgan a little bit there, and we'll get more into that coming up at 420. The second round picks that year, Edgerrin Cooper and Javon Bullard. Starters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they've been pretty solid.
Okay. The person we don't talk about, Tyron Hopper, the other third round pick, stepped in, was fine yesterday.
Has been solid.
Solid. No issues there. The fourth round pick was Evan Williams, starter.
Better than solid, yeah.
Dude, who has these type of drafts, man? I mean, outside the guy we don't talk about, they've all been contributors or starters at this point. Now, the rest of it, nothing to write home about. Jacob Monk, Oladapo, Travis Glover, Michael Pratt, the quarterback, Kalen King.
But Jacob Monk and Oladapo have both been there's still hope behind those guys that they could come in and be rotational players. So they haven't given up on those two guys yet,
I guess. But even with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, you got 4 starters out of that. If you include Morgan as a starter, right? That's 4 guys that are starting. And then if you include Hopper as a serviceable player to go along with it, that's 5 dudes that he hit in one draft in the first 4 rounds, having multiple picks in different rounds. That's impressive. Now, I haven't sat here and looked at the Lions draft or the Bears draft or the Vikings draft to see how many starters. But I think in most years, most NFL drafts, if you can get 2 starters out of a draft, that's a success, I think, for an NFL team. I don't care what round it is. If you get 2 starters every year in the draft, I think you're super excited about that as an organization. And this team's got 4 out of 1 draft class.
Looking at the Bears, they did pretty good in 2023 too. Darnell Wright has cemented
This is 2024 that I got.
2024. Let me go.
No, but go to 2023.
Yeah, Darnell Wright has cemented himself as one of the best offensive tackles in the class. Javon Dexter has been a starter for the Chicago Bears. Tyreek Stevenson has been a starter for the Chicago Bears for a while now. Roshan Johnson has had his moments. Tyler Scott has had his moments. Noah Sewell has gotten into a linebacker rotation for them lately. Terrell Smith has played defensive back. Yes, I get it that 2 guys coming in and being starter pieces for your team can be a successful draft class. But I think also when you are a young team like the Green Bay Packers are, when you're a young team like the Chicago Bears are, you are more often going to have guys that are going to come in out of your draft class and start right away, especially guys that spend a lot of time in college, like we're seeing with the type of players that the Packers like to draft. They don't like to draft too many project players later on in the draft. Earlier in the draft, it's a little bit of a different story. but they want to get guys that could come in and play right away. They plan for that. So yes, I do think it is a success that you're getting those types of players, but I feel like we're overblowing it.
Go back to 23 now. Lucas Van Ness, that hasn't worked out so far. Luke Musgrave, he literally wasn't even close to the amount of snaps as he should have been in that game. That's 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah.
LaFleur was like, oh, this won't happen again. We come back this week, he got 20-some snaps again. Like nothing changed.
He must not have shown anything in practice.
No. So Luke Musgrave, okay. Then Jaden Reed, he's hurt. Don't know about that. Tucker Kraft, yes. Yes. That worked. Colby Wooden, he's still a rotational defensive lineman. Sean Clifford, see ya. Dontavian Wicks, still there, had a couple catches yesterday. Carl Brooks, still there, rotational defensive lineman. Carlson, gone. Carrington Valentine,
doing pretty good.
Best
doing
corner,
pretty good.
Best corner you have. Lou Nichols, Anthony Johnson Jr., and Grant DeBose. Again, that draft class, you for sure have a superstar in Tucker Kraft, a starter in Carrington Valentine at this point, and then 4 rotational guys. Well, if you put Van Ness in, 5 rotational players that see significant snaps.
He's done a good job in the draft. That is for sure. But I don't know if that gets him a free pass. I don't know if drafting is
Micah
enough.
Parsons gets him the free pass.
I don't know if Micah Parsons alone gets him the free pass yet.
Yes, it is. Yeah, listen, I'll explain to you why yes, it is. Because no other GM before this makes this move. There's not one. Ron Wolf, maybe. But outside of that, and he could have, maybe at some point, he got Reggie White in free agency. He didn't trade for Reggie, right? This deal here from Micah Parsons, 2 1s, and a Pro Bowl defensive tackle for one player is the most unheard of thing in Green Bay Packers history. To A, do it, that takes some stones, and then B, see this cat have 10 sacks in week 12 right now with plenty of season to go. What do you have? 12 sacks the first 3 years, right? He's going to be at 15, 16 sacks more than likely. And you have him under contract to an extension. So this isn't a rental and he's out of here. He's going to go sign somewhere else. He's going to be this dominant cat going forward. To me, there's no chance that there should be any pressure on Goody as long as Micah Parsons is here. Just like Ron Wolf makes that trade, giving up a 1 for Brett Favre for a 3rd-string quarterback who the head coach of the Falcons says, if I had a water boy, I'd play him over Brett Favre at that point because he did not like Brett, Jerry Glanville. Okay, that gave Ron what? Gave him a pass to a degree too. He traded for Brett, he signed Reggie, and then everything that came along with it. Now, again, 2 Super Bowls, 1-1,
Super Bowls.
1-1, lost 1, right? Ted Thompson had that type of love. Why?
Super Bowl.
Yeah, but why did he have it? Charles Woodson came because nobody else in the league would sign him. Again, you could say, oh, the Swami Ted Thompson figured it out. But that happened. You got Ryan Pickett for the middle of that defensive line, too, in free agency that same year. And then you trade for Ryan Grant at the end of training camp the 1 year and bring him over from the Giants, and he ends up being your running back going into the Super Bowl. So Ted Thompson also was good at what? Drafting wide receivers. Davante Adams, Jordy Nelson. Go through the lineage of wide receivers that Ted Thompson hit on. So he built that trust up over a course of time for sure. But I don't know, man. I know there's not a Super Bowl attached to Brian Gutekunst's name right now. I mean, he was there for the Ted one, but he wasn't the GM. Even though there's not a Super Bowl attached to his name as we sit here today, he transitioned from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, who they were all under scrutiny for 3 years. They have been playoff teams the last 2 years, and they're looking to be a playoff team again this year. I don't know how at this point he doesn't deserve some type of free pass going forward. Trav and Brown Deer, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Trav?
How's it going, guys? Ted Thompson we trust. Nah. Woodson was the only good thing that ever happened, and but then as a general manager, Aaron dropped so low, and then you got Clay too. So,
but again, when they took Aaron Rodgers, they did not need to take Aaron Rodgers, and they took him anyhow. That's the point. I remember exactly where I was when he fell. I was like, "Oh my God, they're going to take Aaron Rodgers because Brett's older." And then when they did, everybody was like, "I can't believe they took Aaron Rodgers." Do you remember what happened a couple years later? They take Brian Baum out of the quarterback from Louisville. And he starts talking about, I'm going to compete for the starting job. And And guess what? He sucked. And it didn't
Don't
happen.
even know who that is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. But they did that a couple years later. Why? Because they didn't trust what they were seeing in Aaron Rodgers. That same draft, they took Matt Flynn in the 7th round. They took 2 quarterbacks a couple years later because they didn't like what they were seeing out of Rodgers.
Yeah. I was talking to Charlie. So it is, since Murphy's gone, is the silo system broke down?
Yes.
I don't think Gutekunst gets a pass this year, right? But maybe he's more, when with the silo system gone, where he's the Parsons deal is a big one. And like I was listening on my way home, it's not like Reggie. Reggie could bring anybody here. Even though he brought Seth Joyner here, he brought Keith Jackson. But you never know. But
yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, Trev. Brian Braun was a 2nd-round pick of the Packers. He was number 56 overall. I'm telling you, I remember this like yesterday. He was so cocky, like he was going to come in and compete. Do you know how many games he played in for the Packers?
I'm going to guess less than 5.
Not one.
Didn't even come in for like a garbage time at all or anything.
I just called up his stats because I was trying to remember. He played 2 games for the Bills in 2009, 17 of 29, 2 interceptions, no touchdown, sacked twice, quarterback rating of 43.
Yeah, not great. Not
2010, he played in 1 game, 10 of 23, 43%, 3 interceptions in 23 pass attempts, a quarterback rating of 17.9, and then he was done.
Yeah, that was probably for the best. Probably for the best. I don't think giving him another shot would have worked out anywhere.
He was drafted in 2008.
Wow. That's crazy. To think that, like, again, I get that going out here with this Green Bay Packers team and thinking that, we can look at Brian Gutekunst and give him a little bit of a pass for the next 3 years for Micah Parsons. At the same time, they have to win a Super Bowl with Micah Parsons too.
No, I don't think so.
I think that's what gets you a lifetime free pass, like you're talking about with Ted Thompson.
No, I mean, look, we'll see. Maybe I'll be super critical of Micah Parsons and I'll retract what I'm saying right now. But I'm not going to go after Micah Parsons if they don't win a Super Bowl if he gets 3 sacks in a playoff game and they lose.
Well, I'm not going after Micah Parsons.
That's not going to be on Micah Parsons because they didn't finish. That's not going to mean the deal didn't work for Goody because they didn't win a Super Bowl and Micah's doing his job in the playoffs. Now, if they go to the playoffs and they lose and Micah's a ghost and we don't even know he's out there for 3 years in a row or whatever, okay, then I will very likely probably retract and go, okay, maybe it wasn't worth it. But right now, dude, I don't see how that happens.
Well, I just think in the next 3 seasons, you're going to struggle with cap space between his contract and between Jordan Love's contract. You're going to have these moments where you have to consistently re-sign players on this roster that I think a lot of them may not be up to the standard that you're looking for. Yes, they're working within Matt LaFleur's system inconsistently at this point. Hopefully it can be kind of spread out a little bit here, but this is a team that is going to have to find ways to be creative, and that's where Brian Gutekunst is going to get judged on.
Here's another one for you on Goody. Tommy Wirtz, who's coming up with the Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up Show from 5 to 6 like he does every night, Monday through Friday, is lying over here on the couch texting me. Makes sense. And he texted me, and he said the 2022 draft should be hung in a gallery next to the Mona Lisa. You ready for the 2022 class?
Yeah.
Their 5th round pick, Kingsley Engabare in the 5th round.
Nice.
You like that one?
Yeah, he's been solid.
4th round picks of Romeo Dobbs.
Nice.
And Zach Tom.
Nice. All right.
3rd round pick, Sean Ryan. Starting center. 2nd round pick, Christian Watson.
Nice.
1st round picks, Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt.
Nice. It's a whole lot of nice. It's a whole lot of the roster. Just let's see a Super Bowl too.
Like, sure, it all comes down to the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I'm just saying, when you look at that, it's pretty good. Now, again, other picks that year, Tariq Carpenter, Jonathan Ford, Rasheed Walker later in that draft in the 7th round, and Samori Toure, the wide receiver from Nebraska. But again, look at all the starters that you have from that one draft class. This dude, when we start talking about draft, probably shouldn't question this dude much more on the draft because he knows what the hell he's doing.
Outside of Micah, Xavier McKinney, and Josh Jacobs, it's all him.
Yes.
and Elgton Jenkins.
But
basically.
Xavier McKinney's him because he signed him.
Well, yes,
he
but
signed Josh Jacobs. Like,
the
this is all him.
Draft-wise,
Yeah.
outside of those three guys, everybody else on the field, and Keyshawn Nixon too, actually. Outside of those four guys, everybody else.
Xavier McKinney never should have been available from the Giants.
No.
Never, ever. And some go, oh, maybe he overpaid him. He didn't overpay him. He's a leader on this defense. He gets everybody in the right spot back there. Xavier McKinney was worth the money, and Josh Jacobs is worth the money too at this point.
Yeah, just the Giants and Raiders were not in a position to pay either of those guys. Yeah.
Talk about not giving this guy a free pass. He damn right he deserves a free pass at this point. Ain't no question he deserves a free pass at this point. Tell me he doesn't deserve a free pass. He deserves a free pass.
EJ on Twitter goes all caps. No, nothing else. EJ Collin, 414-677-1250.
Love you, EJ, but you got to come in with more than one word, man. We're on the radio. You got to come with that. Like, we're having an exchange on social media. Cool. On the radio, one word ain't going to do it. You're going to have to bring more than one word answers at this point. Why? This is what JB in the 920. Why do I even have a thought in my brain? You guys have every single thought for me from JB in the 920.
That's the first time anybody's ever said that to me.
First time anybody's ever said it to me, because most people think I'm nuts.
Exactly.
JB, I don't know if that's good or bad for you, my friend. It could be very, very bad. What's not bad is a Potawatomi Sportsbook. My goodness gracious. That Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, man, 48 different beers right there that you can have, 12 or so specialty cocktails, all-day brunch, all kinds of great food, wings, wraps, the John Kuhn platter. Way too much food for me, but you can give it a shot as well. Homemade desserts and pastries, a 2,000 square foot center screen, over 30 sporting events at once. And as always, I remind you, reserve your seat ahead of time. Do you have to? No, you can walk in and have a seat if there are any available. I suggest reserving ahead of time. Nominal fee, but it goes towards your food and beverage costs. All you got to do is go to potawatomi.com/sportsbook, potawatomi.com/sportsbook, and you can reserve your seat ahead of time. If you're going down there to watch football, basketball, and whatever the hockey, they got all of it on. They got all the sporting events on you want. They have UFC fight nights all the time on down there as well.
So, sometimes Sparky when we're talking Austin Herdinho.
What?
Sometimes you're up on the screen when we're talking Austin Herdinho.
Yes, Austin Herdinho had me up on the screen at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Yes, that is true. Follow the money with him on Fridays at 4:40. Coming up next, Charlie, Sounds of the Day on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sports Talk on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, presented by Paramount Plus. Can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Because we talked so long in the last segment, we are going to move this segment, Charlie's Sounds of the Day, to 420. We did talk about Jordan Morgan some. We can get into the Jordan Morgan first round draft pick and whether or not this was a good deal or a bad deal for the Packers coming up tomorrow, and just add that to the topic list tomorrow. We were having a conversation off of the air in this last segment. I'm going to bring it on to the air because I don't believe it to be true. And Tommy Wirtz is swearing to me that it's true. He's saying that this whole, if you have a kid thing, that all of a sudden you get like daddy strength or something and you start playing really, really well.
It's real. Yeah.
It's
a real
real
thing. Yes. It's not like a brand new thing. Just Isaac Collins happened to not do very good when he came back. He was an anomaly, Sparky.
Really?
Yeah, it was probably because you put him in a prize picks lineup or something.
No. I don't think I played Isaac Collins in a prize pick lineup. I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe I did. Like the new manager, intern manager thing, that bump, that I'm with, right? That I agree. Somebody gets fired, whatever the case may be. Okay, fine. I'm with you in understanding how that works. This baby bump stuff that Tommy Wirtz is talking about, I don't. Give me an example. Do we have examples?
You've never heard of this? Oh yeah. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it's a huge touchdown bump thing. Like I remember Marquise Goodwin. You remember that one, Charlie?
That was different though. His daughter passed away, didn't it? And
yeah, his daughter passed away.
Well, it was a brand new.
I'm not getting into child death bumps.
I'm not
doing
about
child
that.
death
I'm
bumps.
not talking
People
about that.
People are evil.
Look, I'm telling you that baby bump is a real thing. Like you just had to you take off the top of the head. I know there's running backs that they do that with all the time. Maybe it was Raheem Mostert. I feel like that was another one that popped up. I feel like that's everything, right? Don't you think you became a better radio host after you became a dad?
No.
Okay, 2 years ago, this is from the Philadelphia Phillies account. Dad strength, Trey Turner homers for 7th time in last 8 games after having a baby.
So Trey Turner, 7 homers in 8 games.
Here's an article from MLB. Is dad strength real? We asked the experts. Trey Turner has seen the mean. So that was the big one that
Trey
happened.
Turner. That's one guy.
They have another list here. Every dad strength home run since 2011.
Every dad strength home run since 2011.
And it is up to date. Bryson Stott, Phillies, July 23rd,
How
2025.
many are on this list?
At least 30. At least, and it goes back again to 2011. Ian Desmond was the first one.
I
that they have on this
apologize
list.
to Tommy Wirtz.
Yeah.
He was right.
Thank you.
Now I really have issues.
Doesn't
with
look like any Brewers. No
what
Brewers
the hell
on
is
this
going?
list.
No Brewers on the entire list.
No, they just never mind. There was a joke.
Gotta be careful there.
There was a joke. I didn't say it.
Be careful, Tommy. Be careful. So what does that mean for Isaac Collins then? So, like, are we in on Isaac Collins back on this team? We want him back on this team last year. Was that the real Isaac Collins after they had the kid?
Okay, I think he has to have one more kid. And then we can give him another chance. We'll see how it goes.
Kid?
Yeah. Isaac, good work.
That's good. Let's set him to come back out on this show so Charlie can tell him, hey, man, you got to get busy with your girl because we got to pop another kid out, get this going back the right way again, man.
We got to figure it out.
Reverse the jinx. Yeah. Oh, my God. This show. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tomorrow and Wednesday, Mason Crosby is off, and so is Mitch Nellis. So it'll be me and Tommy Wirtz tomorrow from noon until 2. Eli Berkovitz will join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Green and Gold update coming up next. Big question concerning Christian Watson, Packers wide receiver, here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, here we go. Hour number 3, 4 o'clock hour, as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stream us live on X and on YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Follow us on all of your social medias. This whole baby bump thing or whatever, you play better after you have a kid. Okay, somebody asked me, are you a better host since you had your kids? And I said, no. I got a text that came in from the 414. I mean, you're just happier. Don't you do things better when you're happier? It's just simple.
That's a good point.
I'm not as angry, which surprises my kids that I was angrier than I am now. But yeah, I'm not as angry as I used to be.
Mellow out a little bit. So, I get that.
I guess, yes. Got another one here from Scott who says, Sparky, dad strength is a thing. Dylan Strome, is that how you say his name? From the Washington Capitals on Thursday, got 3 assists in their win against the Montreal Canadiens, and his team helped him up when he was feeling down that he missed the birth of his kid.
That sucks. I mean, usually I don't think I would choose a sporting event, especially a regular season game, over the birth of my child, unless there's other circumstances that kept him out from doing that. That sucks.
I will tell you that when I was angrier back in the day, that we did a high school scoreboard show in Milwaukee on the station in Milwaukee for a number of years. Mike McGivern was the host, and we had different co-hosts over the years and so forth. And one of the coaches, his name was Jed Kennedy, and he was the coach at Kenosha Bradford, and then eventually coached Charlie at Brookfield Central as well. And now he's down in Enterprise, Alabama, coaching football down there. And Jed Kennedy, it was Bradford versus Tremper in Kenosha. And that was the big rivalry, right? So that's like Packer, Bears, crosstown rivalry, north-south, all that stuff. And Jed Kennedy left the game at halftime because his wife was in labor, I think, with maybe their first kid, and left the game. And I got on the radio and I chastised him. What are you doing, man? That birth could be bogus. That birth could be 5 hours from now. What are you doing? Running to the hospital? You want to have a football against Tremper? And I'm a Tremper guy. What are you doing? I was all over him, man, for leaving that game. All over him.
He has actually told us that story, or his team's that story. Our motto in high school is always me, us, team, whatever comes first. And then the team's always at the bottom. He's like, but besides team, family's there too. He always took family more seriously. His daughters go to every one of his games. They're awesome people, the whole family. You can see it. Family comes first.
I have a long history with Jed Kennedy. All good stuff. In fact, him and I were just texting a couple weeks ago. So I'm all good with Jed. But that moment was our first introduction to each other when I was hot that he left or whatever else.
Way to make a good first impression, Sparky.
But again, I was young and angry back then, had no kids, so I didn't care about anybody having kids.
Everybody around me here all has kids, and they all tell me how hard it is, so I'll never be mean about people with kids.
I never said it was hard. I just let you see what it's all about. What it's all about at the end of the day.
It's hard,
It can be, yeah.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, time for green and gold update. Now, I'm not sure how much you really put into the injury report from the Packers, but since I have it, I will give it to you. Now, again, the Packers, no media accessibility or anything like that today, because this is a different week, right? So no practice today because they play on Thursday because it's that short turnaround for Thanksgiving. So it's a little bit different. So they'll practice tomorrow. But as of right now, if there would be a practice or would have been a practice today, the Packers would make this estimation. Carl Brooks would not have practiced with an ankle issue. No Keyshawn Nixon with that neck issue, the stinger that he had. No Lucas Van Ness with that foot issue. And no Savion Williams with a foot issue. Those would be the people that would not have participated in their estimation if they would have had a practice today. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what it looks like. The Packers did not practice. The Lions conducted a walkthrough practice today on Monday before going into, obviously, the regular full practice tomorrow for them. So One of their main guys, Kirby Joseph, their safety, did not practice with the knee issue there. Khalif Raymond did not practice with an ankle. Brock Wright, their tight end, neck injury. He did not practice. But again, the story on the Lions is no Laporta. Laporta being gone, it looks like for the rest of the season, a big, big loss for the Detroit Lions. We'll talk more about the Lions, more about the Bears games coming up at 4:40 when we go over things that Sparky missed. But there's something interesting I've heard coming up and I've seen coming up on social media, and I've heard it on the different talk shows. So I want to bring it to you and see what you think of this question. Do you think Christian Watson can be the next Devontae or Jordy for this Packers team? Is he that talented? Is he that good that he can be that next dominant type number one wide receiver for the next decade or so at the wide receiver position? Now, listen, I'm not talking about injuries, right? I can't forecast how many times a guy's going to get hurt in the next 10 years. What I'm saying is, if healthy, we have talked so much about Tucker Kraft being hurt. How are they going to replace him? What does Luke Musgrave have to do? Where does that all fall? Who's going to step up and have to be that guy to replace Tucker Kraft? But maybe it's just as simple as Christian Watson just finally gets his flowers. Christian Watson just finally starts getting more targets per game and starts getting treated like a number one wide receiver by Jordan Love. And maybe that's how you replace the offensive production that you're going to miss here from Tucker Kraft going forward. What say you? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Charlie Usen, what say you?
If he is going to be that, it has to start this season. And
Yes.
We've seen it in the first couple of weeks that he's been back from this injury. Devontae Adams, it was his third season that he came in and became kind of that number one wide receiver for that team with Aaron Rodgers. And then his fourth season was when he really broke out and was able to get a Pro Bowl vote in that one. You look at Jordan Nelson, it's his fourth season is when he had that breakout year. That's when he got to 1,200 yards for the first time and the 15 touchdowns that season as well. Christian Watson for the rest of this season has to continue to be that number one wide receiver for Jordan Love if he wants to get to that point. I think it's awesome that you saw two examples of wide receivers that didn't immediately come out and be that number one option for their teams, but were able to work and build a relationship with Aaron Rodgers in order to become that type of player. I think right now what we see with Christian Watson, how quickly Jordan Love got back to him once Christian Watson got on the field, tells me that they have that relationship built. Now it's about seeing that production at a consistent rate. Me and Tommy talked about it on the post-game show yesterday. You saw Christian Watson start to run routes that normally Romeo Doubs would run.
Yep.
Normally a Matthew Golden maybe would run. That's a huge step to him becoming that number one wide receiver instead of just seeing him run down the left sideline every single time. Like I feel like we tend to see a lot of the times with him in the game plan Matt LaFleur runs. Now we're seeing Christian Watson become somebody more threatening than I think we thought he was before. That's a huge step in the right direction.
Christian Watson's father is very vocal on X, as we've talked about. I can go back and forth with anybody. Doesn't matter if you have 5 followers, if you have 5 million followers, doesn't matter to him. He'll go back and forth with you. God bless him, because I don't have the time or the want to go back and forth with people all day on Twitter. But his main thing that he has been lobbying the last couple of years has been, you aren't ever going to have a number one wide receiver in Green Bay unless the targets increase for certain players. Otherwise, nobody will ever be allowed to do that. Christian Watson, targets this year. Okay? 4 targets, 2 targets, 2 targets. He had 2 targets in that Philly game. 2. Oh, no, I'm reading this wrong. 4 targets in the first game against the Steelers, 4 in the Carolina game, 4 in the Philly game, 5 in the Giants game, and 7 targets in this game against the Vikings. Comparison's sake, I brought up Devontae Adams' numbers because I just wanted to see. I picked a random year, right? 2021, I picked for Devontae Adams. Targets for Devontae Adams in a season: 7, 9, 18 targets. 18 targets in one game. 11, 16 targets. 5, 7, 14, 11, 8, 9, 13 targets, 7, 13 targets, 14 targets, 7 targets, and 11 targets in a playoff game. That is nowhere remotely close to where Christian Watson is at right now. Not even remotely close. So if we're going to have the conversation, which is what we're having right now, can he be the next Devontae or Jordy for this Packers team? I think it's easy. From a talent perspective, absolutely. But will the quarterback and coach allow him to be that guy, allow him to take that step, to put him in a position to have numbers like these dudes? If we're talking about what's stopping them, it's the coach and the quarterback, I think, Charlie. I don't think it's anything else.
I think so. I'm looking at Jordan Love's attempts in those games as well for Christian Watson. So you look back at it's 29, 37, 37, 36, 24, 21. Aaron
Those
Rodgers,
aren't a lot of attempts, right?
No, it's not. Aaron Rodgers, throughout the majority of that 2021 season with the Green Bay Packers, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games of over 35 attempts. That's part of the reason a Devontae Adams can go out there and do that.
Same coach.
It's the same exact coach. It's a different quarterback, though. And right now, Jordan Love is not in that same spot that Aaron Rodgers is in 2021, where he's an MVP.
You had a quarterback not caring what his coach said and doing what he wanted to do. And now you have a quarterback listening to what his coach wants to do and doing what his coach wants to do. That's the difference. Aaron Rodgers didn't want to play in this offense. He had no interest in playing this offense. He don't want to deal with all the motion. He don't want to deal with any of that stuff. And he definitely don't want to deal with only throwing the ball 20, 25 times a game.
Now I'm sure he'd be happy to do that in his old age. That's what he does in Pittsburgh, basically.
Right. Maybe now, but that's not what he wore where he was at this point. Again, you can say whatever you want about Jordan Love is this or Jordan Love is that. Jordan Love has the patience of a saint, because if we're talking about how he's going to be viewed down the line as far as numbers go and viewed in history and all of this other stuff, I would love to know how Jordan Love wants to be known. Like, does Jordan Love want to be the guy known for winning 2 Super Bowls in Green Bay? Cool. None of this matters. Does Jordan Love want to be known for the guy that had the best touchdown to interception ratio, or threw the most touchdowns over the course of his career, or went to the most consecutive postseasons in the course of his career? Like, what is the end game? When Giannis walked in to the Bradley Center, looked up at the banners, what did Giannis say? I want my jersey hang up there. I want to be one of the greatest of all time. That's where I want my jersey to be, and I want to win a championship. He knew at, 18, 19, where he wanted to go, and he was going to do whatever it took, come hell or high water, to get that done. Had it locked in. Now, again, most people don't have that locked in vision of any sort. How many people do you know that go to college, 4 years of college are done, and they still don't know what the hell they want to do? They got a degree,
Majority of people.
but they still don't know what they want to do. They got no idea, right?
The majority of people.
Right. And then you talk to certain people that knew early on in life what they wanted to do, and they were just laser focused of, how do I get there? What avenues do I have to take to get to where my goal is? But that's not everybody walking around. That's why, to me, I think it would be a fascinating conversation with Jordan Love. Like, where do you see yourself in 15 years? All right, you're sitting down. What do you want to be telling everybody? And if the answer is, hey, man, I just want to be a guy to remember that played hard every time, gave it all that he did, was a great teammate, gave his team a chance to win every game. If those are some of the generic answers you get from Jordan Love, okay, A+, and he's never going to fight for more as far as fighting LaFleur. I want to throw the ball more. I got to have better numbers. You're never going to get that. Rodgers wanted to go down one of the greats of all time. Rodgers knew he had to have numbers. And playing this way, you're never going to have numbers to ever be in that conversation if you're the quarterback of this offense.
No, but I also feel like the perspective of that conversation changes too, depending on if he wins a Super Bowl or not with this type of system. If they can go out there and Matt LaFleur can lead this team to a Super Bowl with Jordan Love playing this way, I think Jordan Love is definitely...
1 second.
What's that?
1 second. I'm not saying he's this guy before people start yelling at me.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with one of the best defenses of all time in the National Football League, Hall of Famers all over it, with a great running back in Jamal Lewis, right? Good offensive line, and simply was a game manager that didn't turn the ball over, right? Got a Super Bowl. Does anybody think of Trent Dilfer as one of the best quarterbacks ever? He's got a ring. He won a Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco for the same organization is kind of the same way.
And then Joe Flacco got paid. But even Joe Flacco was considered more of a thrower than probably Trent Dilfer was at that time. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, Jordan Love can win a Super Bowl, have as many Super Bowl wins as Rodgers and Brett, but still not being held is in the same regard because he doesn't throw the ball as much in this offense as the other two do.
No, but I think Jordan Love himself, that conversation from that angle is more okay with running this system after he gets a Super Bowl. But if they go to a Super Bowl and it's after he took over the entire playoffs, he goes and he tells Matt LaFleur to shove it for a series or two, and it works and it goes really well, and he wins a Super Bowl that way, things change. He may not keep talking that way. I think that's kind of what happened with Aaron Rodgers, is eventually he learned that he could just take games over, and it led to a Super Bowl. And that's what happened. And now he will never let anybody tell him what to do again.
On the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, asking, do you think Christian Watson can be the next Devontae or Jordy for this Packers team? The 262 Dominic and Hale says, wait, we need a number one wide receiver, but now the coach/quarterback won't allow it. I don't know if you need a number one wide receiver or not. I've said it before. I don't know if you have to have that type of person in order to win playoff games. I don't know if you do.
I don't think so.
Because, again, if you look at the Patriots, they had Gronkowski. Now, that same Patriots organization had Randy Moss and went undefeated and lost, and that was a legit best number one option in football that year, and they came up short, right?
Yeah, but the Patriots also, still the teams that won, had a number one. Julian Edelman was the number one wide receiver outside of Gronk. They had a guy who was a go-to.
Yes. And I don't know if you can win a Super Bowl if everybody's getting the same 4 or 5 targets. Maybe you can. Maybe we have examples of other people that didn't have that true one. That really wasn't the conversation. It was more along the lines of, can Christian Watson be as good as those other two guys that we always talk about? Can that be a guy that replaces Tucker Kraft? Because, folks, here's your opportunity. If I'm Christian Watson, listen, your dude ain't here. He's hurt. Give me some of his targets. Let me show you what I can do, man. Everybody talks about LaFleur not trusting Love. How about giving Christian Watson some faith here and giving him some more targets, and let's see what happens. Let's roll with it and go from there. Now, again, obviously he has to stay healthy, but what if Christian Watson breaks out here in the next few weeks and throws up 125, 105, 135, and all of a sudden starts putting up these numbers at the end of the year? You come back next year with those numbers from Watson plus Kraft coming back. Now you can start talking about dynamic, crazy good offense going forward.
Definitely. But also, again, you still have to be a little bit concerned about the injuries with the Christian Watson. I know you don't have to.
I can't play scared, man. I can't play scared and be like, oh, he may get hit on this throw. Oh, he may get hurt if I throw 10 balls.
When Jaden Reed still is not on the field, when Dontavian Wicks comes on and off the field, it feels like every week, or is on the injury report every single week. When Malik Heath apparently hates the team, and the Packers hate Malik Heath at this moment because he just can't get on the field at all, and he doesn't want to be on the field.
Him and be done with it.
I mean, this is a situation where you're kind of down to Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs as the consistent guys who are healthy for this room. You can't afford to lose one of those guys again.
He is Charlie using C Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Coming up next, we'll get to Charlie Sounds of the Day. Normally do it at 3:40, but I talked too much earlier. I know. Hey, when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast. Get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. Bucks, they lost again over the weekend. Can't have everything in life. Badgers shocked the world and beat Illinois. Packers won. I mean, they get all three in the same weekend. Oh, buddy. It's tough sledding when you don't have Giannis, man. I mean, I don't know how many more times we got to say this. Like, you cannot, in my opinion, you could not legitimately go into games without Giannis and go, oh, yeah, they're definitely going to win this one. It doesn't matter to me who you're playing. You can play the Nets or whoever. You have to go in every game going, we have to play really, really well and shoot the ball really, really well to have a chance in most of these games right now.
But you also know you're just going to struggle when Jericho Sims and Andre Jackson Jr. are getting majority minutes off the bench, man.
1,000%. And that's Charlie Usen, who's the biggest Jericho Sims fan.
I even really like Andre Jackson Jr. too. I think he's a really tough defender.
No. I mean, he may be a tough defender, but no. I mean, neither one of those two guys deserve to be on the floor, and then you expect to win. They just don't provide enough offensively, either one of them, to justify being on the floor when you're lacking your best scorer on the basketball team.
Especially more than Cole Anthony or even a Gary Harris at this point.
I love Gary Harris.
I know you do those. You were the most excited person ever when he got signed.
He never plays. He's played a little bit more since Giannis got hurt, but yeah, I like Gary Harris. All right, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Charlie, sounds of the day next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. How are you here on a green and gold Monday? Sparky with you, Charlie using over there. Thanks for listening along the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, WNFL 99.7 FM, Wausau 93.9 The Game, Duluth Superior 710 The Game, and Milwaukee 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Next week, we are going to be doing the annual toy drive. It's actually 19 years. This is our 19th year we've done it in Milwaukee. First one, obviously, we'll be doing on this network. But now we will be at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek doing a toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and for Robin's Nest, which is the foster care arm of Children's Wisconsin. So if you're listening around the state, wherever you may be, and you're like, man, I'm not driving all the way to Oak Creek, totally understand. You can also donate online. If you go to wisportsradio.com and click on the toy drive story, you can click there and donate online if you'd like to make a donation towards our quest. That would be wonderful. The deal is they have a big semi-trailer that's right now parked out in front of Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, and the goal is to try and fill up that semi-trailer. That is the goal at the end of the day. And we always have a lot of donations from like the different fire departments in the area. We've had police stations in the area sometimes make donations. A lot of great sponsors involved too. So looking forward to it. So if you own a business, if you want to help and be a part of this for the toy drive, that would be great. Locally in Milwaukee, I know Natty Oaks, that place that Josh Albrecht is.
Big old bowl of chili.
Big fan, right? Big old bowl of chili place. I know they're collecting toys and they're going to make a donation on behalf of Natty Oaks at some point next week. So I know there's a lot of different businesses doing a lot of different stuff. So we'd love to see you. And then Monday and Friday of next week, so the 1st and the 5th, the 9 to noon show with John Kuhn will be out there broadcasting live. It'll be Rami Makloff out there. John can't make it on Monday, but he'll be on the show. He just won't be out there. And then noon to 2, the Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Both Mason and Mitch will be on location on next Monday, which is awesome. And then I'll be out there all 5 days of the week. And then on Friday, all 3 shows will be out there again on Friday. So Monday and Friday, all 3 shows. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it'll just be my show out there. So come on out, hang out. We got a great food truck that was out there last year between 4 and 6 every night. We got some caroling that's going to be going on Thursday and Friday too. From
Are you going to be caroling too?
Well, I'll be on the air. But
you can sing a little bit.
Pius is setting some kids, I believe, next Thursday at 4:30 to do some Christmas carols outside. And then I think Oak Creek is going to participate and be a part of it on Friday, Oak Creek High School. So it's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And can't do with all the great volunteers at Children's Wisconsin and elsewhere. So if you're in the area, you live in southeastern Wisconsin and want to participate and be a part of it, that's awesome. It's my favorite time of the year. Everybody will tell you it's my favorite week of the year. I look forward to every year. Trying to get maybe Matt Arnold down there to do an interview, maybe Peter Fagan down there to do an interview like they did last year. And they normally stay for a half hour and we chat, and it's
awesome,
a lot of fun.
Every time too.
It's awesome. Yes, it's so much fun. So looking forward to that. So stay tuned. Again, next week, our big toy drive that we do for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. All right, time to get to Charlie's favorite segment of the day, normally at 3:40, but here we are.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, here we go. Let's see what Charlie has cooked up for me today.
All right, first up here, we're going to head over and talk a little bit of baseball since we've been so football heavy today. Give ourselves a little bit of a break. This is Ken Rosenthal on Fair Territory, the Foul Territory sister podcast that he hosts. He was discussing the Pirates and Marlins insisting that they are willing to spend money this offseason and what the ramifications of that could be.
They say, or at least they believe, well, now is the time we can go forward and spend a little bit more. Well, will it even happen? That's the question here. Will these teams get these players? They're going to have to probably overpay to get some of them. They're going to be last options for a number of them because teams and players, well, when they reach free agent marriages, players who are quality players generally want to go with certain contenders. The Marlins might be close to that. The Pirates can argue that they're that with Skeens and their younger starters and with Connor Griffin coming, top prospect. But
I'm not sure Kyle Schwarber would buy that argument against, say, the Philadelphia Phillies, right? So some do doubt that these teams are actually going to spend. And the bigger question, the looming question here, with a cap and floor system possible, and it is possible if the owners want it. I don't believe it's going to happen, and I don't believe it should happen, but it's possible. If that happens, and then a floor is implemented, will owners like the Pirates' Bob Nutting and the Marlins' Bruce Sherman even be able to survive?
Guys, I mean, I'm glad you brought it up at the end. That's what is going on, man. My conspiracy theory that I've had for a while since this story came out a couple weeks ago. I said, man, funny that they're going to spend now going into the last year before CBA negotiation. Funny how this works. I guarantee you they will both spend. They may really overspend. You may see them spend $15 million on a guy that deserves $7 million. They may overspend. But the reason they're doing it is they're going to try and get their payroll in shape of to where the bottom floor is going to be. So if you see the Pirates get up over 120 up to the Brewers, then that means that bottom part that they're going to try and negotiate is going to be 120. Wherever the Pirates get to. The Marlins, they got a long way to go. But if they get up to 120 or somewhere in that area, that's where the owner's going to go, look, we'll give you a floor 120. But we either have to have a cap or severe luxury tax penalties or something once we get past a certain number. We'll give you the floor, but we got to have something on the top too. That's what this is setting up for. Yeah. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm convinced that's what's going on.
Which is just kind of weird to me. I get it from the Marlins perspective because they're a team that has been bought and resold a bunch of times over the past 15 seasons. So it's a relatively newer ownership in there that I think does still want to keep that team. Why? I don't understand why Bob Nutting still wants the Pirates. I don't get it.
Why he wants the Pirates? Because in 10 or 15 or 20 years, he's going to make 5 times the money he bought it for. That's why he wants the Pirates.
I know. But just from a competitive standpoint, isn't it frustrating that your job every day is just to constantly hear all this? I know it makes so much money. He doesn't care, all of that. But at the same time, just you could just spend this money, buy out now, and still have billions of dollars and go do something that you actually enjoy doing versus this, where it doesn't seem like he likes running this baseball team. He just knows it makes money. It's weird.
I'll never understand what it's like to make that much money or have that much money. I promise you, unless I win a lottery, and I don't play the lottery. So unless something happens where I get a bunch of money, I'm never going to know what it's like to have that much money to not care what everybody else around me thinks. But boy, could you imagine how much fun that would be if you had that much money not to care what everybody said about you?
Right. I would buy a baseball team because I think it'd be fun to buy a baseball team and run a baseball team.
No, absolutely not. I have no interest. If I won the lottery, I promise you I would never, ever buy a pro sports team. Never in a million years. All right, go ahead. What's next?
Next up, we're going to head over to the Wisconsin Badgers taking down Illinois. And my favorite play of the day, Vinny Anthony with his end-around touchdown. That was electric.
React to them in spaces quickly.
Gonna hand. Oh, got a little play action. Another one of that eye candy, and it's Vinny Anthony. He will take the rock and take it for 6. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Threatens them vertically, and then horizontally you get the pitch on the reverse.
That was Big Ten Network, right? Big Ten Network with the highlight there. I feel bad for Vinny Anthony, I'll be honest. Because I think if Vinny Anthony was on a really good team, Ohio State or something like that, he'd be getting serious talk about being a higher draft pick than where he's going to end up getting drafted. There is no question in my mind. His loyalty, God bless you, he's screwing himself on where he's going to get drafted probably at the end of the day. He's probably screwing himself by maybe 2 rounds. I mean, maybe instead of being middle to bottom of first, if he was playing with a real quarterback, to possibly being a 3rd or 4th round quarterback or 3rd or 4th round pick where he is right now. I do feel bad for him. I think he's going to be a really good NFL player. I do. I love Vinny Anthony, and it just sucks that he's getting screwed by this whole deal that they have right now. But I'm telling you, he's going to be better in the NFL than he was in college.
Sounds like an easy Packers 3rd or 4th round pick.
Easy money.
Just throw him in there, see if he can compete with Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed this offseason.
Easy
money.
Be awesome. Easy money. I'd be all for it. Yeah, absolutely.
And
go ahead.
Last up here, we're going to head over to Fox with the Lions and Giants, where Jameis Winston did something that I never thought Jameis Winston would do, but it is the most Jameis Winston play on earth.
Now we hear him.
Another trick play as Olszewski throws. It's caught.
Olszewski with the pass into the end zone for a Giants touchdown, Jameis Winston.
I will give Mike Kafka all the credit in the world. Highlight courtesy of Fox. I will give Kafka all the credit in the world. He ran a trick play right out of the box that worked. And then he comes back and runs this trick play later. And who are they playing?
The Detroit Lions.
Yeah. What used to be Mr. Trick Play, Ben Johnson in Detroit, running trick plays every other damn play. He does it against that Lions team. And again, guys, they're on the road. Nobody expects them to win. That's when they're the most dangerous. When you can play that free and you're playing with your third string quarterback in Jameis Winston, who cares if something doesn't work? But if it does and gives you more of a fighting chance to be in this game, that's why you run it. That's why you try and run it. The most impressive thing about that wasn't the fact that Winston caught the ball. The most impressive thing about that was, he came back for the ball and then sidestepped a linebacker to get into the end zone after he ran away from the linebacker to get open to begin with.
Didn't sidestep him, ran through him basically. The linebacker grabbed onto his back and James spins around and just keeps going.
Yeah.
When it happened, I went, they're running a trick play. It looks like, is that Wan'Dale Robinson? No, it is Jameis Winston running down the sideline. It's awesome. I love it. I love Jameis Winston, man.
A lot of people love Jameis Winston because he is a different cat, different personality. I'll give it to him. After that game, Winston was talking about, hey, man, we came here to win. Like, we have got to figure out how to win football games, and we did not accomplish what we needed to accomplish. And no matter what it takes, we have got to figure out how to win another football game. And that's it. And we'll get in more into this Giants and Lions thing coming up in the next segment. We'll talk about the Bears game as well and things that Sparky missed. But that Jameis Winston, at this age now, he's more of a leader of the men now than he was early in his career coming out of Florida State. This here is truly a leader of the men. And I don't know if he'll go into coaching. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if he'll go into coaching after this or whatever, but you definitely feel there's a leadership quality to him, and those guys look to him.
Yeah, it's a very evident change that you've seen with Jameis Winston, and sometimes it takes for these guys to get to that point, they have to hit rock bottom. Geno Smith was a lot of the same way too, and everybody talks about how great of a leader he is now, even if he's not a great football player anymore. He hit that rock bottom with the Jets, came back, and look at what he's doing now.
Got his offensive coordinator fired. Chip Kelly gone.
Chip Kelly got himself fired.
Did he even make it a year?
No. And that
the
makes
Giants
sense.
defensive coordinator got fired too. After Shane Bowen after that game yesterday. Who was it? Vilma who was on the call in that game?
Yeah.
Vilma was killing Bowen in that game. Vilma's like, what is he doing? Why aren't you running press man at this point? Why are you letting him just march down the field? And I guarantee you, my guess, Mara was like, we're done.
Yeah.
That's the end of it. I'm not getting out coached in the booth when clearly that should have been what they were doing, and they weren't.
Joe Shane, the president or the GM there?
GM, yes, but Mara's the owner.
Yeah, he's gonna be done.
Yeah,
Joe Shane's done.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's lasted way past his due date at this point.
I think they may give him an extension.
He's the only person left. Like, he's got to be the issue.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
they fired everybody else. He's got to be the issue.
You and I talked about this off the air. Was there like, or was it on the air? 5 games where they were really close, and you said that's the Bears of last year because they're trying to figure out how to win. That's where they are. And if I'm Shane and I'm the Giants, that's what I point to. I got a young quarterback in Jackson Dart, just like they have in Caleb Williams. I got all this talent out here. We're right there. One draft class that's good, and we'll be right back to being 500 and competing for a playoff spot.
But the difference between Shane and maybe a Ryan Poles is kind of what you were saying before about Brian Gutekunst and Micah Parsons. Ryan Poles traded for Khalil Mack. He got a free pass from the Bears because he went and did that, and then made a ton of trades in the drafts in order to get a quarterback.
Some good, some bad.
I mean, to get Caleb Williams, it was a whole mastermind trade that everybody looks to. That trading with that first overall pick to get 2 more first round picks and then get a franchise quarterback out of that is genius. So he gets a little bit of a break there. Joe Shane hasn't done that.
He lost Saquon.
He lost
to the
Saquon.
rivals.
Yeah. You traded for Brian Burns when you had one great young defensive edge rusher, and then you drafted another one the next year. What are you doing?
And you lost Xavier McKinney,
just awful,
who never should have been let out the door in New York, being as good of a safety as he is. Yeah.
Just
so awful. He definitely made mistakes. I'm not convinced he's getting fired. Maybe he doesn't get an extension, but I don't think he's getting fired. I think there's been enough done offensively this year with Jackson Dart, even without Dable in there, even with Kafka, this team looks good, even with Jameis Winston, as far as what they're doing. You're seeing more now than you did before with Brian Dable.
Just can't finish it.
Just
That's
can't finish.
problem.
Right. Maybe they figure that out at some point in the future. I know one thing I figured out. The only way to go to a Bucs home game is the shuttle from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All you have to do to get on that shuttle is simple. You drive your vehicle over there, park in their parking garage. It's free, costs you nothing, unlike if you go to a game downtown, you're spending a ton of money regardless of where you park. Then, once you're inside the Potawatomi Hotel Casino or Casino Hotel, then you go into the sportsbook, make a same game day wager, ask for your bracelet that they put on you to get on the shuttle, or make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, appetizers, a beer, whatever the case may be, and they'll give you a bracelet to get onto the shuttle. Shuttles leave within an hour and 15 minutes of first tip, and they start leaving, coming back in the third quarter. To get more information on taking these shuttles to and from Bucs home games, all you got to do is go to Potawatomi.com. Again, Potawatomi.com. Things Sparky missed coming up next. We'll talk about those Bears and Lions games from over the weekend. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
11th play of the drive for the Bears. 3rd and 5, 4 minutes to go, first half. Williams throws it, and it's caught for the touchdown. Loveland carries the defender with him for the score. Second of the day for Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, Colson Loveland there. Highlight. Was that game on Fox, right? Is that
CBS.
CBS. Highlight courtesy. It says right on my screen, too. You'd think I could read. Highlight courtesy of CBS. Colson Loveland, that hasn't done jack crap all year long, finds the end zone. Another guy finds the end zone for his second touchdown of the day. Also has been silent in this offense as of late.
Turns this into a 3rd and manageable. Flags are down. Williams downfield. Open man. Touchdown. DJ Moore. The Bears go back in front.
I will say this. While the Bears ended up winning that football game, and they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, the fact that it was such a struggle to beat Mason Rudolph and the Steelers, as a Packer fan, doesn't make me all that concerned about what's coming in a couple of weeks. It just doesn't. The defense, we'll see how great this defense is. But again, the Steelers should not be able to just walk up and down and do what they want. Again, Caleb Williams gave him a touchdown on a fumble in the end zone, so that was 7 of the points. But it should not have been that close with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Charlie.
This feels like when they traded for Khalil Mack. The defense gets a ton of turnovers. They go out there and they have big sack performances from 1 to 2 guys every once in a while, but they're able to just to pick the ball off consistently. The linebackers are able to always be in the right spot. Just seems like everybody's always in the right spot at the right time. That can't last because you saw the Bears the year afterwards where their defense got 0 turnovers and weren't able to do anything. This is a team that I think right now is really young and really well coached, and they have potential, but there's no way if you can barely beat a Mason Rudolph-led Steelers, if you can barely beat the Raiders, if you can barely beat any of these teams that they've played over the past 10 weeks, that is a problem.
Wait to hear the stat I got for you. Great.
What story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now. Don't miss Milwaukee Admirals hockey this season. Don't just buy tickets. Invest in memories at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.
All right, this is awesome. Caleb Williams has completed less than 60% of his passes in 7 games this year. Less than 60%. That's not good. In those games, the Bears are undefeated. They are 7-0 in games in which he's completed less than 60%. All other teams this season, when their quarterback is below 60% passing, minimum 20 attempts, are 26-58. That is 31% winning percentage in that case. I'm telling you, don't buy into this Bears team, folks. This is something that's getting ready to fall apart at any moment.
Maybe, but they keep winning. They're still first in the NFC North.
They do.
Let Bears fans have this, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They do.
I was telling Tommy this felt like Mark Adanasio when he was talking about the summer of fun and entertainment.
Yes.
That you just know this is going to come crashing down because they say stuff like that or things like the Bears being the Bears happen. So just let us be happy for now because it's going to come crashing down. We know.
I think so.
We know.
I'm not trying to be the downer
yes,
for
y'all.
But just everything points to just come crazy. You get Philly this week, right?
Downer.
You get Philly this week?
Yes.
Yeah. The end is near.
Philly's not going to be happy after Dallas.
Yeah, no. And then after the Dallas game, even. Oh, Saquon for 200 in that game. How about this guy here? This guy put it on him.
Right, the blown leads have been well documented. There's Gibbs. Belton couldn't bring him down. Holland chasing after him. And Jahmyr Gibbs is into the end zone for a Lions touchdown, 49 yards.
First off, in that Lions-Giants game, how Kafka doesn't kick a field goal at the end instead of going for it is beyond me. Highlight courtesy of Fox. I swear to you, when that happened, I said, and they're going to lose. Unfreaking believable. And then they held him to a field goal on top of it, and then you get to overtime, and this happens.
I'm going to keep watching that. There's Gibbs on first down. Jahmyr Gibbs across midfield. One man to beat inside the 20, the 10. Touchdown on the first play from scrimmage in overtime. Remember, the Giants will have an opportunity. Gibbs takes it 69 yards.
Remember when everybody ripped the Lions for taking Jahmyr Gibbs that early in the first round? Y'all remember when that happened?
Oh, and Jack Campbell, who has also been one of their most consistent pieces on defense too.
I really wanted the Packers to get Jack Campbell in that draft.
It seems like they got a good GM over there.
They do. Yeah, he's really good. No question. But again, if we talk about this Lions team, they don't appear to be all that great either, folks. They struggled with the Giants at home. It went to overtime with the freaking Giants. Again, Dan Campbell calling plays is a win for everybody as far as I'm concerned. Because not only is he calling plays, but now his ego is going to come into play as far as what he's going to do in situations. Oh, I know I can get a good play here. Yeah, we're going for it on 4th and 10 at our own 30. You know that's coming. I can't wait for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a fun game. Cannot wait. Wisconsin Wrap-Up comes up next with Tommy Wirtz. Make sure to keep it tuned in. You'll hear from Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, Packers beat writer, Andy Herman of the Pack a Day podcast. Just a couple of the guests you'll hear from coming up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles!